priority. So, Tina, as public representatives, it's not a privilege to be a public representative. It's a call, yok service abantu. That's why we have been called honorable members, because we need to honor the call esinikezwe abantu. Njengoba kuyini abantu esinikezwe lo msebenzi ukuthi sirepresent. Ngaphandle futhi mhlambe ukuwaste isikhathi, bengizocela uacting mayor wethu ukhansela ubusiHlumbane asondele ngaphambili azosinika umhlahlandlela ukuthi why we are here today. Acting mayor ingawe lento.
Thank you very much, Program Director, who's the acting speaker. Let me take this opportunity to greet the stakeholders that is gathered here today, and also indicate, also greet the Honorable Deputy Minister, who has decided to approach Emalahleni municipality and come and do this unannounced visit, so that we will also engage with our community to see that are we getting the service that we were supposed to get from the different department. You are greeted and you are heartily, warmly welcome at Emalahleni municipality. The purpose of the meeting for today, of this gathering, is a visit by the Minister of Public Services. We are going to engage. It's not our meeting that we are going to address you and leave, but we want to hear from you that what are the issues that are there, how can we correct as a collective and as the community of Emalahleni. I acknowledge the department that are here. I also acknowledge the stakeholders, all the forums that are here, representation of all the sectors within Emalahleni municipality. You are heartily, warmly welcome. The acting speaker has indicated that we have delayed to start this meeting, but we have started with the programs very early today. We have visited 3 of department. We have visited the SASA department, because that is where, when we go out there for community in Bizo, we are getting a lot of complaints that the offices, the community are having a challenge with the office. We have also visited the Home Affairs, because it's where we get a lot of complaint. And we also visited the Khusong Center in Clarinet. That is why we have started this meeting a little bit later. But my task for now is to welcome all of you and also to indicate the purpose of the meeting. You are heartily, warmly welcome. Feel at home and participate in this process. Siyathokoza, siyabonga.
Thank you, Acting Executive Mayor. That was very short and precise. I don't know if everyone has a program like this on their tables. Our program will go as follows. As we have started already with Executive Acting Mayor. Item number 1, okay. And then item number 2, sizovumela speaker, not speaker, impact chair. Wait, ukuthi naye asinike something encane nje from esayidini lakhe. That will be item number 2. Item number 3, sizonikeza ubaba uHumu obuya ku Department of Public Administration athi naye ukuthi fahla kancane. Then we'll also, after ubaba uHumu, we'll go directly to our guest of honor today, who's the Deputy Minister of Public Administration, Dr. Uchana Pilane Majake. That will be item number 4. Item number 5, I don't know what we still have the representative from Nkangala district. We'll check if there's a representative from Nkangala district, if it should be a that will be item number 5. Item number 6 will fall off, which was supposed to be a presentation from a municipality. That one will fall off. I've been advised by by administrators to omit this one in this program. Then, maybe I failed also to acknowledge the presence of other stakeholders who are here, were invited. We have academics from the educational department. We'll have Mr. Usinga, and also we have, apart from our stakeholders, we have from business Chamber of Commerce. We are supposed to have Ubaba Umgudlwa, but I was advised also by a chamber that Upucha will be available on his behalf. Then amongst those invited, there's also professionals. We have Dr. Mthembu here, who's also going to say something to us. And then the next item will be discussions where you will also participate. That interaction where you'll raise concerns, and I would very much like for us, when we raise concerns or problems, they should be solution driven. We should also put in our inputs on how to mitigate those such a problems that we are having. Don't just raise a problem for the purpose of raising it. Come up with something that might be a solution. Because we can check, if we can check a theme of this gathering, maybe I check a theme. The theme of this gathering, the theme is promoting innovative ideas for service delivery. Leave no one behind. This is the theme of this gathering. To promoting innovative ideas for service delivery, leaving no one unturned. That's why all of us are here, so that we can give in ideas on how to solve the problems that we are facing. Tina, as our communities, relating to municipality, relating to government departments, as acting mayor Ashile, we have heard the work about SASA, we went to Home Affairs, we even visited a Tarnet service center to see Laoma departments or Laoma establishments, that are they serving the purpose or the mandate that is given to them by the government departments. So it's also giving you a chance, which now you should come up with your concerns and also come with ideas on how to mitigate the problems that we have. I'm sure this is a song, Manje. Then, without maybe also wasting time, I'll call Ubaba Emalahleni from DPSA to give us a word himself about the purpose, or going further to the purpose of this gathering. Ubaba Khomu, are you around? Okay.
Program Director, ngiyabonga for ithuba engiliphiwe, just to say a few words. Although having listened to the executive mayor and yourself, I think half of my job is done in terms of the purpose. I need to just give the purpose of this gathering. But let me broaden it a little bit. This gathering is part of a broader program. Before I get into that part of things, let me recognize our Deputy Minister, Dr. Khana Pilani Majake, the Deputy Minister for the Public Service and Administration. Thank you, Councillor Buthelezi, for program directing this session, and also for giving us a direction that we'll go through. Acting Mayor, Executive Mayor, Councillor Hlumbani, Chief Whip, Councillor Maseko, Acting Speaker, Councillor Maraba, all MMCs and councillors that are present, you are also recognized, representatives and officials from other departments. I've seen we've got Tate Murunga, if I'm pronouncing the name well, who's running the Tusong Service Center. There's others who are, he's running the, I've seen the official who's running the Home Affairs Office. He's amongst us. There are other officials from other departments. You're recognized, municipal, provincial, and all the officials that are here from national, community development workers, and representatives from all the sectors that are present, the House at large. Allow me to just broaden the purpose of this activity. As I said earlier, all ministers and deputy ministers have been given the directive by cabinet that we must engage, they must engage with communities on a regular basis. It can be either through Zimbizo, this one is only a stakeholder engagement, it can be any other form, but there must be that direct engagement with communities. So we are implementing that program. And as you heard earlier, we've been to government offices to assess the level of services that are provided, to also check what are the challenges the service site has, what are the challenges that the citizens have going into those sites to get the services that they deserve. So, and what are the solutions we can come up with. Together, we should be able to then engage with those challenges and come up with solutions. Going further, we have the district development model, which is a model that says we need to look at service delivery improvement rather, in an integrated fashion. We should move from a silo mentality and make sure that as we improve services for our citizens, we follow an integrated approach, which means from local level up to national level, we need to work together. That is why we have every district should have a one plan. And in that one plan, we must make sure that we implement the projects that have been identified together and as an integrated fashion. So that's what is going to happen. It's part of that process to say, let's get the stakeholders, engage with the stakeholders. The key thing is each stakeholder must tell us, what are you doing for the community? We know what are the community needs, or do you? If you don't know, then we need you to know all the community needs and relevant needs. We can sit in our corners and think this community needs horses, and yet they need water. So it can't be like that. We need to make sure that we engage with the community to say, what are your priorities? Then once we've established that, what are the projects that need to be put in place? We talk about those projects as one government, district, province, and national. We combine our efforts, we combine our resources, and then we come up with the plans. What are the catalytic projects? In other words, what are the projects that can cut across the whole of the province, for example? We're not just looking at a ward or a municipality. We're looking at the entire province, and then even where necessary, we look at the entire country. If that one project can cover the whole country and benefit the whole country, then that's what we need to work at. But the resources that we're going to use must be pooled. We're not going to say, municipality, this is just your responsibility alone. It must be resources where national, provincial, and local government, we put in our hands and we contribute. So in a nutshell, we are involved in that particular kind of project. We want to see the challenges that communities face being eradicated where possible, because challenges will always keep coming up, but let us tackle them in an integrated way and ensure that our people get the services that they deserve. So today, that's as we're here, we want to hear from the sectors, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What are the challenges that you face? What can government do to come and assist you so that at the end of the day, we come up with solutions that can benefit our people? So in a nutshell, that's the purpose that we are gathered here for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khomo. That was very informative. Maybe also I should explain the purpose also of some of these committees that we have in council before I introduce our next speaker. We have a Section 79 committees in the municipality. Those are committees that play oversight on everything that has been done, on council matters or council resolutions or even projects that are being implemented. One of those committees is called Municipal Public Accounts Committee, which we briefly say is MPEC. The next speaker will be an MPEC chair, who Councillor Cecilia Maraba. MPEC is on national level, CB's SCOPA, Standing Committee on Public Accounts. But now on a municipal level, we call it MPEC, Municipal Public Accounts Committee. It's a very crucial committee in the municipality. That's why, Minister, when she's visited, she sent an invitation to come for us to come here. He specifically requested the MPEC chair should be here. Without maybe wasting of time, I'll call Councillor Cecilia Maraba to come and address us with a few words. MPEC chair, wait. MPEC chair, stand is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Acting Speaker. Sanbonan. Iban nomdlandla, sanbonan. Sanbonan. Ngathi ni kwatile or ni lambile. Niyavuka. Siyabo. As Acting Speaker ashilo, I am only standing here for the acknowledgement of guests attending the Public Service and Administration stakeholder engagement. The Program Director, Acting Speaker of Council, Councillor S.S. Buthelezi, thank you for an opportunity to acknowledge our guests to this key engagement. Honorable Deputy Minister for Public Service and Administration, Dr. Khana Pilane Majake. Honorable Acting Executive Mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipality, Councillor M.P. Hlumbane. The Honorable Chief Whip of Council, Councillor C.P. Masego, members of the Mayoral Committee in their respective portfolios. The Chairperson of Section 79 Committees of Council, presence is acknowledged. Esteemed members of Council present. The Chief Director of Service Delivery Improvement, Citizen Relation and Public Participation, Mr. Emmanuel Home. National and government officials in the different portfolios of administration leadership present. Key stakeholders from academia represented by Ubabu Usi, Sawona Baba. Key stakeholders from business represented by Mr. A. Mkudlwa. Key stakeholder from professional represented by Dr. N.S. Mtembu. The municipal manager, Mr. H.S. Mayisela, with senior management of Emalahleni Local Municipality. M.M. Sawona, in your absentia. Representative from organized labor of SAMU and IMATU. Representative from South African Democratic Teachers Union, shortly SADU. Representative from the different services delivery sector department represented, the different political party representatives present, representative from the South African National Civic Organization, in short SANCO, welcoming representative from the Ratepayers Association, representative from Pillar Sunday Community Movement, representatives from traditional healers, practitioners, abo kokomfene, sanbonan kokomfene. Welcoming our faith-based organization represented by the Pastor Fraternal, Abafundis. Representative from the Moral Regeneration Movement. Representative from Disability Forum and DEFSA present. Representation from Moth Retirement Village. Representative from Love, Life Center. Our foot soldiers, the community development, which is CDW. The esteemed members of Ward Committee present, Nikona Sanbonan. Media houses present, ladies and gentlemen, I acknowledge your presence to this occasion on the ministerial outreach on service delivery stakeholder engagement in our city. The energy hub of South Africa, all the different sectors represented as invited are crucial to the engagement under the theme promoting innovative ideas for service delivery. This is protected space for creative minds. This is an opportunity for progressive, innovative discussions on the improvement of the lives of our communities. You are all acknowledged and welcome. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, MPEC Chair, for those words of encouragement. Okay. Before we call upon Dr. Pilane Majaki, we were made aware while they started the program that there were religious leaders amongst us that wanted to brace us with umthandazo. But I've been made aware also now that we don't have them now. They're not available now. But it will be proper also for us, before we welcome our esteemed guest, for someone, anyone here, to just give us a word of God and also pray for us so that we can have these proceedings as smooth as possible, especially. Here's a volunteer. Oh, okay, I take it we don't want a prayer. Okay, I'll take it we don't want a prayer. Okay. Then we'll proceed with our program. It's not a train smash. We'll proceed with our program. Can I get your attention, please? Then without further ado, then, can you all stand up and give a round of applause for our esteemed guest, Deputy Minister, Dr. Khana Pilane Majaki, while she's coming to the podium. Please, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. We can get seated. Good afternoon, Sanibonani, Lochani, Abusheni, Molweni, Macheron, or Kimatsehari. It's good to be here. My name is Khana Pilane Majaki, Deputy Minister for Public Service and Administration. I'm here because it's traditional for us as government to move around in provinces, as national government, to have a feel of what is actually taking place in the country, and also to have stakeholder engagement and have people full in the room like the people we have this this afternoon with us. We started in the morning with the unannounced visits at the service delivery points, because service delivery points are always the business that is in our interest as the Department of Public Service and Administration. Program Director, let me acknowledge in our midst the presence of the Executive Mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipality, Mayor Krumbani. Also acknowledge the Chairperson of MPECT, Councillor Lizzie Maraba, the Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Maseko. Also acknowledge you, the Speaker, Councillor Buthelezi, and all councillors present here today with us. Let me also acknowledge in our midst the stakeholders that are here representing professionals, academics, and business. I'd also like to acknowledge the municipal manager, and the senior managers that are here from the municipality with us this afternoon, to acknowledge representatives of government departments. We had in the morning people representing the education circuit. To acknowledge the team that I come with from my office and from the Department of Public Service and Administration, and say thank you to them for having helped also to organize an event of this nature. So basically we are here as part of DDM, District Development Model, as encouraged and developed by the President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has actually encouraged the integrated approach to doing business with government. It was because of the fact that he feels like we operate so much in silos, to the extent that sometimes efforts and activities become expensive unnecessarily. So when you manage to pull heads together, what is easy is that you draw from each other's strengths. And it's not only about drawing from each other's strengths, it's also about really bringing about a coordinated service that makes it a point that we don't have gaps in the manner in which we provide the service. And I must actually say, Program Director, our business as government, and the message that we're sending from government is that you have a government that cares. And I know that you have many voices out there, many voices with too many messages, but I would like to say to you today, please let us not be deterred by voices. Let us not be misdirected by voices. What is important is for us to actually manage to begin to observe and appreciate what we see before us. So much has been done by this government. So much more can still be done by this government together with you. So let's continue to hold hands. And this is why when the program director introduced us this morning and today, and even introduced what the business of the day is all about, he said, we are coming here to listen to you. We're coming here to engage you. But we're not coming here to engage and allow us to have a platform for lamenting. We want people to actually tell us their life experiences, the day-to-day experiences of services in the Emalahleni local municipality. Some are good experiences. Don't be shy from talking about good experiences so that we don't develop an approach, an attitude of only knowing how to talk about things when they are bad. Let's talk about the bad things, let's talk about the good things. But when it comes to the bad things, what I'm saying is lamentations, then we have to actually also be in the position to manage to put solutions forward. What we encourage as the Department of Public Service and Administration, we do so through what we call the Center for Public Service Innovation, which is a center that encourages public servants. By the way, we have 1.3 million public servants in South Africa, and I'm not actually acting mayor counting public servants in local government sphere. Because for now, in terms of the business that we do as the Department of Public Service and Administration, as a corporate arm of government, we do work across all government departments, but at national and provincial level. For now, there is before Parliament a bill that is actually being deliberated on. It's a bill that's called the Public Administration Management Bill. This bill actually looks at establishing one public service so that all the public servants or everybody that is employed by government in the future will actually have the same experience of working for the government, so that there's no different arrangements for those that are in national and province as compared to those that are in the local sphere. Basically, what also is important is to notice and recognize the fact that we are almost approaching the 25th of November, which is the day for the beginning of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. I want us also to observe that, because our lives are not just about what's happening in public service, it's what's actually happening even amongst ourselves on a day-to-day basis in our homes, in our communities. And this is why annually we look at these 16 days of gender-based violence. Not because it only becomes important over this period, it's because of the fact that we have to actually select a period in the year that can actually help us to manage to focus on it. As we commemorate these 16 days of activism, we want to actually encourage all of us to really try by all means, whether we are in faith-based organizations, whether we are in government, whether we are in politics, to really work against the oppression and violence on women. And we are aware of the femicide that is taking place. We're not sure what could be the causes of femicide, but what we should do in every sphere of life where each and every one of us finds themselves in, we need to advocate against this scourge of violence. And to those in the faith-based organization, I normally say to priests, what you can simply do is when people are coming into church, especially men, because we know men also are abused, but the majority of the people that are actually abused are women. To say, whoever has abused their wife last night, don't come into my church. So that we avoid the situation where you find that even church leaders sometimes themselves are abusers. Also, the other issue that is important is the issue of children. We need to begin to also be worried about what happens to our children on a day-to-day basis. And we know as a country we have a number of measures that have actually been put in place just to be sure that there's proper child protection, development, and survival. Because if we don't begin to nurture them and allow them to grow well, they grow into adults that are not ready for life. And that's where you see a whole lot of pathologies. If you nurture them well and to actually give them the protection and the love they require, it's like an ammunition for them to go face the world. We want to bring future citizens, bring up strong future citizens of this country. People who are going to become future leaders of this country. We must prepare them, we must look after them in a number of ways, different and various types of ways. Beginning from education, be worried about the type of education they get, be worried about their health, be worried about how we socialize them, the messages that we give to them. Because how you socialize children is who they become. If you talk about issues of gender, and you still continue in a home setup to actually behave towards a girl child like she's the servant of the home, aren't we sending the message to boy children that you should be sitting there with your Sunday newspaper on a Sunday when she's busy cooking and having a baby on her back? So we can be in the position to change the status quo of a number of things that brings about the pathologies. And as I talk about pathologies, I can mention even drug abuse or drug addiction. The Nyaupe users who are our children. We know a lot of families have actually been affected by this. We know how it has actually turned the lives of too many in their families, and how it has actually even affected the dreams of so many parents about who they wanted their children to become. But these are the scourges that we can actually fight. And normally we say, as we fight, government cannot do it alone. We can fight by actually also ourselves as communities being vigilant. Vigilant about really worrying about what is around us. Who is doing what? Because I will tell you that a number of children have become drug addicts, with a lot of us as community members knowing and understanding who is giving them the drugs. But all of us quiet because we all are scared. Let's fight for our lives. Let's fight for the lives of our children. If we don't, nobody can actually ever manage to do it for us. And the challenge that we've got in South Africa today, I normally say it's because we have population explosion. The population explosion is about the too many numbers of people that are in this country. Some are undocumented. And I'm not bringing forward this point because I want to promote xenophobia. I'm talking about people who look like you and me, that we're not supposed to be scared of. But the fact of the matter is that as a country, we have come to a situation where we realize that we have too many numbers of people that nobody knows they are in South Africa, but they impact on service delivery because they've got to actually get the health service, they've got to go into schools. The police themselves have got too many people that are supposed to be policing. Sometimes we say, oh, police system is actually becoming weak. Part of it could be the number of people that they now have to actually police. These are realities that we've got, acting mayor. And the reality says, even when we plan, we need to actually bear in mind that the numbers that we actually are planning for might even be bigger than what we put on the table. Remember, when the municipality does this IDP, they do the IDP, the IDP is the Independent Development Plan. The plan as to what they will be doing in the coming year. The plan, they're supposed to actually have a budget. But all of that is actually worked out in the context of the numbers of people that officially are registered, that we know live here. When in actual fact, when the services are supposed to be provided, then that's provided for more. These are some of the many challenges that we have as a country. But of course, we're not going to try and justify where things are going on wrong. We will have to acknowledge where things are going on wrong, but also acknowledge what is debilitating, because when you take into consideration also what is debilitating, it then enriches your process and programs to the extent that when you engage, then you engage meaningfully in a manner that actually helps the processes that you are actually responsible for. I have been informed that you have a number of challenges like the water supply. I have been informed that the water treatment plant is actually getting attention. You are not alone. I've just been to Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria, just last week. Themselves also have the water problem. We visited the Rooiwal water treatment plant. What they're actually saying to us is that the sewer that is actually coming to the plant, the kind of system that was actually built was for lesser number of people. But because now the population has grown big, it cannot actually handle that anymore. To the extent that the slug becomes too much, to the point that even water treatment becomes problematic. So I guess I didn't go to the water treatment plant here in Emalahleni, but I'm thinking that it must still be the same problem. But you're lucky enough because your water is not contaminated yet, like the situation in Hammanskraal, and we're hopeful that with time there will be a way of actually sorting this out so that water can consistently be available. Also, what the municipality in their IDP plan have actually indicated, their independent development plan have indicated, is a challenge of the numbers of people in the municipality that do not pay for their services. Remember that municipalities run with a budget, which is the money that government will give. But also there must be revenue collection that helps to run the municipality. Revenue collection, it's a rent. If you don't pay this revenue, you weaken your municipality. And when you weaken your municipality, you weaken your services. Let's help each other to know and understand that it's important for us to pay for municipal services so that together we can run the municipalities. If this doesn't happen, we must expect that the services will actually become weak, because it will mean that the municipality does not have enough money, not for just even providing the services, even to take care of the infrastructure. Because the responsibility of the municipality also is to take care of the infrastructure. You want to see your place developing and becoming a beautiful place. Can become beautiful if the municipality has got enough money to manage to do all of that. Let's hold hands. Let's do all of these things together. You see, lately a lot of us take our children to what is called Model C schools. Model C schools, if you look at how they actually managed to be where they are now, you'd realize that these are government schools that had school committees and parents who actually looked at what government is giving and look at what they can actually put on top of what government is doing in order for them to upgrade the school. Because sometimes we might actually look at these things and think, you know, a lot of things are unreachable for us, but in our approach to them, it will tell as to whether these matters or some of these facilities that you sometimes see that are actually run from certain communities and certain races, we can be in the position ourselves to do it. We can be in the position to put our hands together. We can be in the position to collect the little monies that we've got, add on to what government is actually giving in order for us to actually manage to improve our facilities. It's possible. And I know lately the kind of information that is given to South Africans is that if government is not doing it, it's because government is corrupt. Let them give you the money. But what we should actually understand is that government has got the fiscus, which is money that is allocated annually. It isn't like there is a river of money. So within the limited resources that we've got as government, a lot must happen. And that's why we continue to emphasize that we must do it together. And as long as ourselves can actually manage to understand that, I think at a personal level, a lot can happen for South Africa. A lot that we think is impossible can become possible. And sometimes I look at just even the issue of the pit latrines and the approach and the comments that sometimes you get about pit latrines. A child falls into a pit latrine and somebody says, where was government? And we say, in this community. And we understand that government is in the process. Like we did with electricity in rural areas. Like we did with roads in rural areas. There used not to be tar roads leading to many rural areas. We did it. Like we did with piped water in rural areas. We are now looking at how to eradicate pit latrines. But remember, there is what you call progressive realization of rights. And we are eradicating the pit latrines, understanding that it is the responsibility of government to help the people to actually live their lives in dignity. But it cannot happen overnight. But coming back to the pit latrine and a child that falls into the pit latrine, you ask yourself, the community, couldn't they see the pit there? Because sometimes in our approach to life, we sometimes even relegate what is our duties. Of course, we have to actually build those latrines, but in the meantime, the message you send into the communities, check those latrines, the ones that have not actually been changed yet, to see whether it's not dangerous for children. Or you see a danger for children and your parents, please let's try and avoid danger in order for children not to fall into these pit latrines. But the promise I'm actually making to you is that government is serious about eradication of those pit latrines. And we are serious about eradication of just too many things that are scourges that worry you as human beings. And I'm sure you've seen us as a government, how we've actually managed to successfully fight the scourge of HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS is no longer killing anybody. Well, it will kill somebody who doesn't want to go and take treatment. It's now a chronic disease. Remember those days when people were dying? Those are the old days, the days of the past. I'm just making examples of how government tries to fight at every front. But as we fight from all the fronts, we want to be with you. And I want to repeat the message that we want to be with you because remember, you are government. Because you know sometimes people talk about government as if government is something that is foreign, when government is you. And that's why we will go to elections. And you have to elect your own government. So government is you. The ones who make it into council, the ones who make it into the provincial legislature, the ones who make it in parliament are representing you. That seat is determined by the number of yeses you have said. So let's not forget that. But when you are a government, you can't see and be complacent and not participate. And this is the participation that I'm actually encouraging today as we visit this community, to say we are here, let's engage. And I'm engaging with government, by the way, even if I'm a government representative. To say, government, we are here to come and listen to you. And we know you will actually pinpoint what is wrong, but we know you're going to actually also give us some kind of inclination as to what needs to be done in order for us to be in the position to make things better for South Africans. And this is why in our midst, we've got academics. We want thinkers. Thinkers will actually manage to do the proper analysis of problems for us. Thinkers will actually manage to come up with solutions for us, of viable ways of dealing with whatever is challenging. And this is why also we have decided we will bring professionals, because professionals are people who have actually managed even to have the experience of these that you call services. They can tell us from their perspective as to how they think we can step up the game. Because our business is to look at how to step up the game, especially as the Department of Public Service and Administration, the department that develops policy for the entire government, the department that promotes Batho Pele principle. Our daily message that you find in a whole number of public offices. But this morning when we visited one of the service delivery points, what actually came out was that people are aggrieved about the people who are sitting behind desks. They're saying they're not nice, they're arrogant, but Batho Pele charter is actually, a poster is actually on the wall. What we said to the manager is that you need to have sensitization processes to remind the people that work in your office about what Batho Pele principle is all about. And Batho Pele principle is about really putting people first. When we deal with you, we must deal with you with the necessary sensitivities. Understanding that you're a human being, you're a dad, for example. You're a mother that comes from a family. And therefore you must be addressed in the correct manner when you enter into a public service delivery point. And normally what we say to people who work for public service is to say, remember that when you are sitting behind the desk, you're not sitting there for yourself. You're sitting there representing government. And you're sitting there as a servant of the people in government. And whose government? You. So a lot of people behind desks in public service don't understand that they are there to serve. If everyone can remember that once they get that job, they're coming in to serve South Africans and serve them with a smile. Don't you think it will make the work easier for us? It will make more and more South Africans happier? And that's the only thing that we need to do. Today also there will be business that comes to present here. And business will actually give us a perspective picture as to how we can advance economically, Emalahleni local municipality. Because what is life without enough money? The economy of Emalahleni local municipality must grow. It must grow because without the economy growing, we're going to find that the Gini coefficient actually also goes low. We're going to find that the inflation goes down and it just affects everything, because when the inflation is down, everything becomes so expensive, life becomes unaffordable. So part of the main other things that we can put forward is, how do we grow the economy of Emalahleni local municipality? And sometimes with the same breath, I normally say, do you know that some of the challenges, we call them the triple challenges that we experience, unemployment, poverty, and inequality. With unemployment, we encourage people to want to be interested in starting up businesses. If we can have more and more people becoming entrepreneurial, it will actually help to increase the economic growth. Because that GDP, growth, domestic product, is very important for it to grow in order for the municipality to thrive, in order for the municipality to actually be a municipality where there is money. And some of the things can actually work themselves out, because remember earlier I talked about people not paying for services making the municipality weak. And maybe some is because they cannot afford. Money is simply not there. And that's why they don't pay for services. But as you get more and more people not knowing or not managing how to actually pay services, and you are a municipality, it makes you weak. Also, what is important that we need to be vigilant about is the damage to infrastructure. It is there in the IDP report. That, you know, our infrastructure is damaged in levels unimaginable. Sometimes it's discouraging. And it actually gets damaged for a number of reasons. Some is theft, cable theft. And from Parliament, I know we tried to actually come up with legislation as to how to deal with these criminals, because when they were supposed to be prosecuted, once they are arrested, it was becoming impossible for the prosecution to know how to actually manage to deal with their cases in court. We've improved on legislation, but the problem persists. And when it comes to infrastructure, it's not only about cable theft, it's theft of electricity itself. And when you steal electricity, it means you are stealing electricity from a municipality. Municipality is government, and whose government is yourself. So you are more and more crippling yourself, because we have a whole lot of communities that are stealing electricity. And some of us live in areas where we know electricity is stolen. And we're sitting complacent and we're just watching. But you must know how indirectly affects you and your lives. And remember, we can mess it up now. Is this the kind of legacy that we want to have remaining with our children? Because whoever lives today in normal communities, they worry about the future, what you're going to be leaving for your own children. Let's fight all of these tendencies, because they're the tendencies that actually pulls government back. Because we want our government to actually manage to progress. But our government can only progress in an environment of people who are disciplined. And I know we live in a rights-based society. Half the time we talk much more just about rights, but we don't talk about responsibilities. Where you find that there is a discussion about rights, it's normal for that kind of a discussion to be followed by responsibilities. And once we begin to do that, it actually creates the necessary balance in order for life to actually be harmonious. Because also remember, the whole issue of rights comes from the approach to peace. When you talk about rights, everywhere you go, it's a peace theme. Because once you protect the rights and you uphold the rights, it avoids conflict, it protects other people, it makes everybody happy, and therefore you get peace. But where you find that rights are violated, that's where you get all sorts of problems, including war. Because when you look at how we actually came up with Universal Declaration of Human Rights as the United Nations, it was because the whole world was tired of wars. If some of you are young, you only heard, and even myself, I heard about the First, Second, and Third World War. And these are the wars that actually really killed thousands and thousands and maimed thousands and thousands. And that say that normally, that it's normally actually mentioned that says, in war, there's no winner. You can go to war. Even now, when you look at what is happening in Israel and Palestine, you think, okay, maybe the Israelis are winning. But they're hurting themselves also in some way. And of course, the underdogs are the Palestinians, because they're a weaker party. As human beings, we have to try by all means to create peace and harmony amongst us in order for us to actually manage to enjoy life. Because if we don't do so, then we create bitterness, hardships, anger that doesn't actually contribute anything meaningful in life. Let's continue to have the approach of life that will actually be helpful to us in a way that helps us to advance. Program Director, this sets the scene in terms of our engagement. How we actually have to engage in a way that will help us to come out of this meeting with probably plans of action that will help to take the municipality of Emalahleni forward. Because what is important for us is to actually see this municipality thriving and moving forward. I thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. That was very informative and very helpful. And I'm hoping it's going to raise the level of consciousness amongst our citizens. You know, she has spoken about responsible citizenry in order for us to curb our social ills and moral degeneration, and which I think is very key kule society esiphila kuyona namuhla. And it's our collective responsibility as citizens also to curb lento le immoral degeneration and lawlessness amongst our communities. And we've spoken about who or what is governance. Because we've been called honorable. And in actual fact, you are the government. You just chosen us as representatives. That's why we are called honorable, because we have a moral obligation to serve you. So, department idlali oversight ko wonke ama department wakamasipala. If you find discomfort, go Mr. Osinga lapha education, you are allowed to report to public administration inkinga yakhona. If unenkinga ngabo baba laba bagcoka esiblu abamela lapha emnyango, ungayisa khona naye lapha ku Minister of Public Administration. I don't know ukuthi from a department Mpumalanga a province ikhona la, a district ikhona. Then sayikhipha ku program le abekho abantu bakhona. Then sizongena straight kuma stakeholders wethu esiwamemile la, from academia sino Mr. Austin Usinga. Mr. Usinga ungasondelela phambili so long as I introduce abanye. I don't know, from business chamber Mr. Mkudlu ukhona? Mr. Nkonyane ukhona? Okay. Dr. Mthembu ukhona? Okay. Yeah, then now if mhlambe engaveli business chamber uzosondela ngaphambili while Mr. Usinga loka. Mr. Usinga, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Program Director. For the opportunity. It's intimidating to be allowed to speak after yeah, hey, yeah, but angithuki mina ngoba angazi uDeputy Minister bamtshelile ukuthi she is in the #1 city yama idols in South Africa. We have just won, in fact, next year, basala vele bawayenzela la ekhaya. Undlovu Thabo is from Emalahleni, Deputy Minister. Uzama naye from Emalahleni baseza. So that's why ngisukuma nje with this pride. And I'm sure we are not going to be the capital seat of idols, but will be a capital city of service delivery in South Africa. Thank you, Minister, for Deputy Minister, for encouraging message. I'm sure Sio Pumala, si pregnant really information, and will go back and implement. Siyabonga kakhulu, as I acknowledge you, acting Mayor Hlumbane, thank you very much. Councillor Maraba, my friend and neighbor, thank you very much. And who speaker of our municipality, Babu Masego, thank you in absentia. Allow me to show with you. I don't know how I was invited to speak on behalf of Academia Emalahleni. But when I got in, and then I was shown the table, Deputy Minister, I sat next to Dr. Mthembu. Yeah, Dr. Mthembu, I looked at her, admired her, but in a positive way, not in that other way. But then I was worried, Deputy Minister, the face Lena, something is telling me something. Nyambuza ku Dr. Mthembu ngithi ubuya ekhaya uthi Elinville. How Elinville? Then kimi kuyafika ukuthi Elinville bokuno Baba Mthembu makhafkhaf. Nisamkhumbula Baba Mthembu makhafkhaf. Nimazi kahle. Dr. Mthembu is last born yaga the late Makhafkhaf. The first citizen of Emalahleni ukuthola a degree. That's the first citizen la Emalahleni ukuba ne degree ubaba wakhe. And ngize ngithi kuyena, you know, maybe these guys these ancestors, because ubaba wakhe was a friend to my father. But ubaba wami bekano standard 6, uParkman usinger. Bekano standard 6, I friend ka baba ka doctor, asebenza la ka masipala, deployed eholweni eLinville. Siyakhuluma mina naye ngithi, mara these two guys were corrupt. Because ubaba wami bekabiza ubaba wakhe elikhanyisweni abaleka iclass baya amvakashela lapha eholweni bayophuza inip lapha, because I would walk from Akaville ngibamikisela isikhaftini. But ubaba Mandela ngithi kuyena, ubaba Mandela wathi a son of a mine worker can own a mine. Am I protected? Can you protect me?
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give Mr. Usinga a chance akhulume, and then we'll have iskhathi for deliberate izinto, because after this, sizovulela izandla nelo. Please, let's give him a chance na akhulume lo akhulumayo. Can I get your attention, please? Can we give him a chance? Please, can we give him a chance? Please, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Colleagues, singakwenzi man lokhu makuno deputy minister. Siyacela ubaba Austin asinikeze lokhu asinikeza khona. Sizonikezwa ukuthi sikhulume. Angeke sikwenze lokhu sinezinto zethu zala ekhaya. Ake simeni laba bokhamba bahambe. Sisale sizilungisa sisodwana ngiyanicela. Uvikelekile baba ngicela uqhubeke.
Uyabona acting thina sibuya kwa education indaba ze politics nane it's not so if I can't be afforded an opportunity, I think I've got a lot to do than to come and then be embarrassed like this. So ngiyacela ke, I'm not that kind of a person. If you don't want to listen to me, ngabumela ngaphandle ngqede, or else I can gladly leave this meeting. Usale wena ne meeting yakho.
Thank you, colleagues. But this should not be something that we should be celebrating. Every one of us will like an opportunity to speak and be listened to. So if we are going to do this to one person, if it happens to you, you must not think that is something that is foreign. It's because you yourself have done it. Mr. Nkonyana, are you here? Mr. Mkudla, are you here? Then without wasting time, Dr. Mtembi, you can come forth so that you can give us a piece of your mind.
Ngiyanibingelela, with all protocol observed, also acknowledging all 11 official languages of South Africa. Good afternoon, goeiemiddag, sanibonani, dumelang, lochani, iphinde iqhubeke ithi chewani, ithi nda or a accordingly to the gender. Phambi kwenu, igama uNokuthula Samantha Mthembu, born and bred in Witbank, Emalahleni, Elenville. By profession, I am a medical doctor. I qualified via the Nelson Mandela Fidel Castro program. It's a Cuban program that has been, that was implemented by Utata Madiba. With no waste of time, am I allowed to just get into what we all came here for, hoping to have covered, to be able to cover everything that I'm supposed to cover today. So good day, comrades. With all protocol observed again, I'm in a lifetime career. It never stops. It's a dedication that requires passion. You can't run on a qualification alone. It only has to go in parallel with passion, because you do run out along the way. I'm pleased and proud to be a healthcare worker that has dedicated her time, and sacrifice to be available for my community. No matter how bad things go downhill, the health system, All right. Yabo. No matter how bad things go downhill for us as a community of Emalahleni, the health system should never be affected. It's one universal service provider that needs to be well taken care of and nurtured for the well-being of our community. Like how it's said, health is wealth. Health iyabiza. There's nothing else that can buy you health. You can't find it over the counter, okay? It's a mainstay of wealth. Working in a collapsed health system that is congested with a collapsed infrastructure. I'm talking about our local hospital, Witbank Provincial Hospital. Working in one of the most, working in one of the biggest considered healthcare service providers, which is a hub of all the other referral hospitals, is very challenging. As we speak right now, we have a collapsed building, which is supposed to cater for 3 departments in the hospital, and which are currently not running because it's collapsed. This, however, opens loopholes for healthcare workers to underperform in their duties. I'd make a simple example that we probably experience every day at Bantabeze General Hospital. Nurses, but they do not go to the relevant people who are supposed to make our job smooth. Imagine having a beautiful furniture, but you have no house to put it into. It's the same challenge we are facing right now in Witbank. When I mean furniture, I mean we have qualified professionals, we have specialists in Witbank Hospital, we have everything that we need, but we do not have a house for them. The facility hasn't expanded over the years in regards to resources and service rendering. I'm going to name quite a few of the challenges that we've been faced. There's many, but we'll try to give the main ones. The bed-patient ratio, 1 bed to 1,000 patients. When a bed is the most expensive commodity, when I mean bed is the most expensive commodity in a hospital, I mean that each bed has to be allocated a nurse, a doctor, according to the other allieds would be a physiotherapist, would be an occupational therapist, would be dental. So you can imagine when I mean what a bed, I say a bed is it's an expensive commodity in a hospital. It plays a huge role in the fundamental management of our patients. Secondly, having foreign citizens with no official documents. Again, I go back to what the Deputy Minister said. I am not promoting xenophobia. We are stating problems that we are facing, isn't it? So having foreign citizens with no official documents that occupy 1/3 of our beds in hospital make it difficult for advanced management of our well-deserving community members. Well, if you're in the healthcare system, as I am in, there's no such a thing as a scope of work. Okay, there's no thing. Scope of work, there's no such a thing. We treat patients holistically. Holistically means it's a biopsychosocial. It's a biopsychosocial approach. I do not just treat a patient, I treat holistically because we know that we treat different patients from different communities with different backgrounds economically and socially. Fourthly, I want to mention our pharmaceutical shortages of baseline treatment leading to delayed initiation of the treatment of our patients. So when I mean baseline, I mean the basics. Our antihypertensives, sometimes our patients get to the pharmacy and say, yo, iridak, ipilislam aliko, batili out of stock. Yo, tiwa ipanado is out of stock. I'm not exaggerating, these are things that we face every day. Ipanado yabak, kuba kon is tiwa, especially ipanado yiko. How, when it's the most basic medication that's supposed to be readily available for our community members? In closing, I would like to implore our Deputy Minister and its office to engage in close proximity and robustly with the Department of Home Affairs to alleviate the unduly pressure on the health system for the purpose of rendering a holistic health armed service to our immediate deserving communities. Hence, this can be achieved amongst other things by employing at the helm of our leadership or management people who are competent, proficient, and community-driven. When I mean community-driven, people who are liaising closely to their communities, okay? Who know ukuthi mangithi abantu baseKhavile ngikhuluma ngabantu abanjani, mangithi ngikhuluma ngabantu baseHlalani kahle ngazi ukuthi ngikhuluma nabantu abanjani, mangithi ngikhuluma nabantu baseLinville kwaGuqa ngazi ukuthi ngikhuluma nabantu abanjani. Siyazwana? The delegation of cadres whose leadership is mediocre undermines the core value of Batho Pele. So every chair that is being placed must be well deserving. Ne? It must not just because I know you, I'm going to place you there. You must be well deserving and you must know your community, acknowledge your community's needs. All right. In closing, another suggestion would be to decongest the main hub by availability of services in peripheral hospitals and clinics, stipulating circulars and protocols of patient admissions. By that, I would further elaborate and say that with our local clinics, we should be having 24-hour running clinics because that will decongest patients running to hospital with cases that can be managed at a local clinic. Okay. I think I have also run out of my delegated time. In proper closing, I'd like to seal it off with important laws of life to note as we go by the day. The first law is Murphy's Law, which says, the more you fear something happening, the more likely it is to occur. Second law would be the Kidlin Law. If you write a problem down clearly and specifically, you have solved half of it. The third law would be the Gilbert Law. When you take on a task, finding the best ways to achieve the desired result is always your responsibility. Okay. The fourth one would be the Wilson Law, which stipulates if you prioritize knowledge and intelligence, money will Money will continue to come, sorry. And lastly, the Falkland Law. Falkland spelled as Falkland. If you do not have to make a decision about something, then do not decide. I thank you.
Malibongwe. Kamala makhosikazi. Siyabonga makhosikazi, sibonge udokotela wethu ngokusinika nje ulwazi nyana ngalokanako kule sector asebenza kiyo. Babu look, I hope you have noted to talk. Doctor has spoken about 30 of our beds in this hospital occupied by foreign nationals. That is a concern. I think there should be some legislature that would curb such a thing. Ukuthi abantu bethu balala emabhankeni while foreign nationals alala ngaphandle singabazi ukuthi bazele indla, whether it's asylum or bazele business or banawo ama visa asazi. But I think we should look at the legislative framework ukuthi how do we curb this shortage of medicine. Deputy Minister, I've experienced that now. When I wanted to get medicine from my mother, thola ukuthi medicine ebalulekile for abantu abadala ithola ingekho lapha. Dr. Siyabonga Gilbert's Law sitshela ngeresponsibility. The responsibility yakho ukuchange lama surroundings okuwa ngisho. So sikuthathe as responsible citizens, sikuthathe lezi laws sisikhona ukuthi nande sizikhumbuza ngazo nathi. So understand the democracy kahle futhi ukuthi democracy is a two-way street. It's those who are in power and with you. And the people who are in power yithi kahle kahle esihleli la enzansi esivotayo. Ngicabanga manje sesifike kuyo yonke le ndawo lesonke ebesi anticipate where will interact no deputy minister even now bonke abantu esinabo la phambili where we'll have discussions, clarity seeking questions or inputs. I don't know how we're going to handle this. Can I be guided, Deputy Mayor? Because I see these tables. Are you going to take per table or are you going to just open hands for everyone to raise hands? As we wait, let me get a directive from Mayor. Okay, thanks. Sorry for that. I've been advised now that we are going to take only one round of hands. When I open up for Ugutini raise izandla, I will point by sequence. If I say you are number one, you must know you are number one, then we should follow like that, follow suit. Number two will speak after number one, and so forth and so on. Can I now take the round of hands? We are only going to have this one round of hands. Are the people with mics here? Okay. So about number one. You will be number one. You'll be number two, Sisi. Baba number three. Number four. Number five. Number six. Number seven. Number eight. Number nine. Number 10, lo evisandle simhlophe lapho. Okay. Number 11, wena baba uku backdrop Emalahleni. Number 12, ma. Number 12. Will be number 12, ne? Number 13. We understand. Can we have order so that we can have these proceedings running smoothly, and also all of us can be afforded time to speak? Did I point out each and everyone who has raised their hand? I can't see any hands anymore. Mama, but when I pointed you, Angit. You are the one who is supposed to listen to your number. Mama, what is your number 13? Okay, cela bonke lapho from number 1 till ku number 12 beze bazomela la bazokhona ukubabona kahle. Number 1 buya. Number 1, number 2, number 3 khona la. Number 1. Can we please be short and precise? And if someone has raised what we are supposed to raise, just say, no, I'm covered by the speaker. Says one. If someone raises something that you wanted to raise, just say, no, I'm covered. Cela ukubona singak. Number 1 ubani? Phakamisa. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Buya phambili number 6. Cela sorry Sisi. Sorry. Sisi. Samu arrange line la Sisi, please. Number 6, cela ungene after number 5. Okay, amongst those who have raised hands, do we have CTWs? Okay, since you are no longer number 6, number 6, number 7, you are number 6. Number 6? No. Asilenzeni libe straight lihambe likheve kanje ukuthi sokhona ubona ngamanamba esihamba ngawo.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I hear it. Okay.
Baba Khomo, are you ready to take down? Okay. Please, we can see ukuthi abantu abaningi bafuna ukukhuluma. Let's not start with preambles and sifuna ukwenza ama preface nama let's get straight to the point and raise our question or put our input. 2 minutes maximum. Thank you. Shaya Baba.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shenge. My name is Pegumuzi Ronald Mkonza from Ward 10. My question is, I'll put it upon who Executive Mayor yetu, Mama. Mama benkelu buza mina uti public service and administration. How do you integrate abantu abafana nathi so abanama NPOs ne? Where especially we touch to local 16 days of activism ne against children and women abuse. So how do you, because we have a program where you run an event on an annual basis, where we talk about the gender-based violence, but this time around this year we decided to touch on mental health. So how do you as a department support our NPOs of Ananati? So I thank you.
Thank you, Baba. I will show up it's Curtis Fishani. Sisi, let's hope it's so kanjalo.
Thank you, Sanbonani. My name is Evodia Mabitla. I'm from Ward 12. Deputy Minister, ama department wako wonke ayasifeyila. Sibo mama siye emakliniki siyathukwa. Siye home affairs sifuna ukuthathela abantwana ama-ID siyajikisa, siyathukwa senziwa yonke into. Umbono wami bokuyiloyo. Thank you. Yonke department yakho isifeyilile.
Siyabonga. Cela uhlabe baba.
Mina Joseph Wakapicheng, I'm from Ward 9. Ngicala ngendaba yama ward committees go Emalahleni municipality. Sicela nto basebenzise better. Use ward committees better. Because at the moment they are ward committees but they are ineffective. So my request is that one. I'm here just to ask for that and say please use us better. We are not complaining and saying, give us millions of rents to do our job. What you are giving us is not enough, yes. What we are saying is increase it, but we are here. We will serve, and we are willing to serve. But just give us better remuneration. Point number one. Point number two, we go to communities and we say, pay for services. That's what the request we are putting to the communities. But when the communities come to the municipality offices to come and do just that, some of them are turned back. If I have 200 rents to pay, they say, hey, it's too little. I have 200 rents to pay. That's what a person can afford. Take the 200 rents. It is 200 rents more on your budget. Please, let's get our basics right. Let's sing the same song as well. Ward committees, when we are doing our job, we're working. Councillors are working together with us as well. But please, let's sing the same song. When we say people must pay for services, deliver on those services. Give them the opportunity to come in and pay. Please, get the office right. First point of contact, when you get Lapaka Maspal, the face that you meet first. It does not invite you. It's not inviting. Can we start there? Correct that so that people can come in and communicate and work better. Thank you very much.
Sanbonani. Okay, igama lami uKhutso Bashele. Abaningi bangazi ngomgijimi. Ngizwile izitatanyiswa zikhuluma.
From what?
From Ward 14 ngaguqa eCape Town. Yeah. Ngizilwe izitatanyiswa zikhuluma la. Kodwa ngendlela kungakhona, we are being failed by our officials of all the departments. Another one has just said. Okubuhlungu ukuthi service delivery, I mean nithi ama services abhadalelwe. So abhadalela kanjani ama services singasebenzi? Like downtown, you can go from Le eBrokhweni up until Le Phezulu. It's foreign nationals, and you are doing nothing about it. Instead, niyahamba lapha niyothola imali. Mina, that is what I see on the ground. Another thing is in business. We are young, many of us are in business here. In business, it comes from Nelspruit, is Allah. Bazofuna ukudictate ama terms for thina la. We don't go there. Even if we go there, we fail. And leyo nto leyo kumele niyilungise. Because maningayilungisi, we can't tolerate that anymore. Good business, go dominate ama foreign nationals, kuma trucks. Bantu base Zimbabwe, bantu base Congo, bantu baku abakhona abanamandla now, ababathathi. You are doing nothing about it, and yet ndifuna sibuye sizobhadala ama services. Bhadala bogogo la, abaningi bethu they can't afford. That is being honest and as honest as can be. And then another thing, mina ngikhala ngayo. It's not only me, every one of us here. The ANC is in government. The ANC siyayithanda. But the officials go ANC, they've become semi-gods. They've become arrogant. And they've become a law amongst themselves.
Check his card.
Yes.
Check his card. Check his
And
card.
then, ngendaba yama foreign nationals, ngendaba yama foreign nationals, bagit, yabona mina I travel a lot. From la, the southern part to the central, nyahamba, self-propelled, lift abantu ngihambe. What I see in Zimbabwe, what I see in Botswana is not what is happening here. Manfuna uguti ama borders wethu abe right. Do like Botswana. Botswana, mawufika le Botswana, but uyakubuza ukuthi you are transit or uyahlala, and for how long? Akunamuntu eBotswana ohleli le bangamazi. Lena into angamabomu kunobushinga phakathi.
Sabonga baba, sabonga asinikeza abanye i-chance la.
Yes,
Asinikeza abanye
ngizoqeda.
i-chance.
Yebo ngizoqeda.
Bekilani ingakanani?
Yes.
Bekilani ingakanani?
Yes.
Bekilani ingakanani?
Ngixolele kancane. Mina ngumhlalolwa Witbank, ngizalelwa Witbank. Born and bred. Ngifundile. Ngafunda ejele, ngaye ejele ngendaba yokuthi ngabulala belungu. Lo bathu uSibhamo no Person badutulwa yimi. It was political. And I get emotional ngoba thina we are not being recognized by abantu kufanele basi recognize. RDP wethu le kunama foreign nationals babuye eMozambique, babuya eZimbabwe, babuye eCongo, and yet thina asinazo izindlu sikabahlali bala njani.
Gijimi asibe tolerate. Tolerate abanye abantu mgijimi sikhona ukuthi sisebenze.
Sanibonani. Ninjani?
Shap.
Ngibulise no Deputy Minister. Deputy Minister engicelayo okunye sekakubalile umfowethu. Engicelayo ukuthi ilo uVictor Madela. Engicelayo ukuthi law and order ayibe khona eSouth Africa. Yiko lokho engicelayo, because now izinto ezenzakala la eSouth Africa, each and every boy ofuna ukwenza icrime usuza la eSouth Africa. Basenzela amabhizinisi abanamaphepha. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani, Joyce Nkose, Ward 25, Ekril Khanala. Lapha kuma acts use Municipality System Act. Municipality Structure Acts, e.g. Mameya, Section 79 and Section 80. Municipality Finance Management, sine problem. Singama NPO, sinama center. Dala lezi ndawo sizisebenzisa since 2003. Ayeza ama sponsor, sponsor, asikhona ukuphumelela nge-lease agreement yakamasipala. Sinama co-op, si-grill commonage, sithola ama-sponsor, anga-sponsor For ukuthi sikhone nathi ukunceda umasipalati wethu. Umasipalati wethu sambona uwile. Siyakhala vele sibhlungu ngoba ama millions lawa abafuna ukusinika yona. But i-lease agreement yethu ayikho right. Siyacela kakhulu, siyacela ukuthi nisilungisele, siyahlukumezeka singabomama.
Next.
Sanibonani, okhulumayo uJacqueline Mgwenya. Ne, I'm an ex-teacher. Okay. Ngicela uminister abheke na ama-points alandelayo ne. Ama-parastatals wethu ahola ukundlula abantu abasebenza directly ku department. For instance, abantu abasebenza CCMA bahola more than abantu abasebenza Department of Labor. So such things fuze sizibheke ukuthi why does these things happen? Number 2, i-NSFAS yethu this year i-reject abantwana abanengi, and except that nalaba bayitholile abanengi bayithole late. And then sithi abantwana bethu basurvive njani lapha ezikoleni, baphase njani, ukuthi next year will they be accepted if abantwana bethu bangakhona ukuya ezikolweni bahayika benzani imali ifike late. Then number 3, umasipalati wethu ne problem ye-Wang family bayayazi la. I-Wang family opposite banala benza izinwele khona. Bathatha ama-females wethu ama-small business abenza izinwele. Each and every table they pay 2,200. And then uzibuza ukuthi Wang family ucollecta malini. Municipality wethu uyakhona uthola malini kuleyo mali leyo. And then labantu laba ngaba hamba nemali eningi. At the same time, it is making our nation to be poor because labantu bebazama uma umuntu oyiwana athatha imali engaka. Ngikubuye ngemali yakasasa abagogo bethu nabantu laba abahola imali ye-grant babhizi baboleka lapha khona la i-Wang family amakhadi wabo namapasi wabo khona. Ingabe makuya imali elections azoba khona ama-ID na. Bayazi-check-a lezo zinto na. Ngize ku-Department of Treasury. Yes, they are giving out funds. But thina singabantu abamnyama, it is becoming very difficult to access lama funds abakhipha ama-millions because the standards are very high. If ever mina nginje nginombono, angeke ngiyithole le 30 million abayinikezayo. Ngiyafuna ama-truck mara ngizoyithola kuphi. Bangake bathi batholile imali eningi kibo. Ithola labantu aba already ba up there. So thina siyoyithola nini? So lokhu siza amaholweni sikhuluma. Nathi sifuna ukufika somewhere. Okay, Minister, I'm very proud of you because you are a woman. You represent our well. Mawusho labo uzazi indaba zakho. Mara ngicela ukubuza, liphi office lama 350? Abantu I'm saying this because now sengu position le. Bengutishara vele ngisebenza bengeke ngikubona. Nami ngi-applyele 350 ngothi bengisasebenzi. Angiyitholi. Ngirepota kuphi mawuyesasa bakunikeza ama-phone number. Ama-phone number lawo uyafonela 24/7 angeke uthole muntu. Aphi lawo ma-offices? We need them. Okay. In the past, bokuthiwa yeah, i-Home Affairs beyiza manje ngalezi khathi lezi ithathisa abantu ama-ID mahala abawathathisi, and then cabanga i-ID 140. I-transport yethu kusuka elokishini la ngihlala khona is 21 rand. If you cannot even come to town, uzoyithatha kanjani kwaleyo ID ungasebenzi? Then lastly, ne ama-office wenu ngicela si-check i-material, siya-attenda. Last time kuno bani u-refile Tsipane kuma-stalls wakhe bokune-material yakudala. Masifika lapha sithatha le material sithi siyofunda ukuthi kutholakala yini uma-economic affairs, mas-check-a laphiyana la material wenu wakudala. So asazi ukuthi asisiza ngani mangesekho relevant. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga ma. Bengafuni cela ume kancane ma before ukhuluma. Bengafuni ukuba rude ma, but I was told ukuthi sibo check isikhathi because check ukuthi from ekuseni ngithi si busy nalento le. Lalelani. Asilalelani. Nani yourself, nani senikhathele. Ngifuna kube niphumule. Asilalelaneni, singamane sibangu asilalelaneni. Asilalelaneni. Sifuna ukuthi wonke umuntu athole ichance yokukhuluma okhona lana ngithi. So isikhathi asicheckeni isikhathi esisikhulumayo khona sonikeza abanye ichance. And one more thing. Kunama cards anjela a distributor usisi uMaroti nosisi Angela. Laba bangatholanga ichance yokuphakamisa izandla bazomangala. Bangagcwalisa lamaluka azoya direct ku minister lamalula. Bengidlulisa loyo mlayezo loyo. Ngicela abakhulumayo babe kafuphi for ukuthi so accommodate nabaye abantu so khona accommodate nama responses from the deputy minister. Ngiyabonga. Ngashaya sisi.
Sanibonani mphakathi. Mina igama lami uDaisy wakashabango ngibuya ePhola ku Ward 30. Hayi nathi siyahlukumezeka ngendaba yesikhathi. Ngoba ichance ithuba elifana naleli limvela kancane. So izinto esifuna ukuzisho ziningi sesishaya isikhathi ngoba kuqaleke ka late kodwa sizozama. Engizokusho mina ukuthi uMr Khomo uye wakhuluma ngokuthi kwamele kube ne direct engagement with the community. Nakuma akhulumela kuma project angithi ne service delivery improvement following integrated approach. Thina as umphakathi lapho kunye njengoba ubhuduke wayithi fahla kancane siyalimala la e10 as umphakathi wala Emalahleni sizwa ubhlungu ukubona Emalahleni umasipala uzovela eTV kuthiwe umasipala uyakolota. It's very embarrassing lento leyo number 1. Whereas sisarroundwe ama mines la. Ama mines enzani because ama mines ukufika kwayo. I believe each and every mine mayifika iba ne SLP eyinikeza umasipala ukuthi ngizothi mina mangicala ukusebenza ngizocasha abantu base Witbank, ngizocasha umphakathi wase Witbank. Number 2, umasipala wethu ukuze undlondlobale usurvive. So how are we going to thrive sinama mines angaka singacasheki abantwana bethu abacasheki siyaguga asicasheki Emalahleni mara sinama mines angaka sithulile singomphakathi kuba nama project uya wakhuluma kuma project uMr Khomo kuma project abakhona uthola uya apply unasi certificate uya apply only to find out maso uthi uyaya lapha yana uthi yobheka uthola kusebenza umuntu waseneli spread. Whereas wena ungomphakathi wala okumele ubhadale ama services waseMalahleni awukwazi ukuthi uthole lo umsebenzi lo a peace job nyana ngikhuluma ngento enkulu like for example ngizobekisa ngokuthi mhlawumbe ukukampela ipolice station yinto encane ngithi leyo yinto ngabe isiza wena ozama ofufusayo mara awukwazi ukusizakala because kuvela abantu bangaphandle and wena lengaphandle angeke bavume yes simpumalanga sisonke. Ngiyabonga. Okunye okulandelayo mina ngibhale into eziningi laba kwethu ngicela ningibekezelele. Ngicela uyazi akukho yazi ibhlungu indaba angazi ukuthi emphakathini ibona kanjani indaba yokuhlala ezibini kungcolile kumphakathi wethu. Kungcolile ujikela ngapha kungcolile naseyitolo zethu zamandiya ethu kungcolile lawa esiwafuyile esingafuni ukuthi ahambe akuhambeki amagundwane yonke indawo sogcina sifana neSoweto neAlex Mos. Kanti labantu bahamba nini kahle kahle kuthiwani ngalabantu? All right. Mina ngine business. Thina ama small businesses ngiyakuzwa bhuti ngesikhathi thina ama small businesses asisakwazi ukusurvive la elokishini sinabogogo ababheke abantwana kunezintandane emakhaya imali kagogo ayilingani ukuthi yondle abantwana ugogo ubezama athengisa itamata athengisa amaskobas amandiya afikile athethe yonke into yonke business ikubo manje ama small businesses asisakwazi ukusurvive thina asakwazi kwenza lutho because bona bakhona bakhukhumele bagcwele indawo so we don't know if umasipala of government yethu iyaba protector or what. Another thing le ndaba yasezibhedlela ukuthi kunabantu bokuhamba ungasibala ibhlungu indaba yasesibhedlela mina ngomuntu otravelayo a lot I've been ngaphandle endaweni eziningi ngike ngaphathwa yiasthma ngiseSwazini angeke ungene bakubamba ngelanguage uthi awusiwa la if uyangena they'll charge you double. They'll charge you double for that. Thina la ekhaya mahala. Kuyazenzelwa. Hayi man kubhlungu kunzima ibhlungu lento abo baba bethu abazali bethu balwa ukuze sibe la sikhona ANC siyayithanda and sizoyivotela and siyakude nayo ANC isazoqhubeka mara sicela isicabangele ngalabantu laba azange balwele ukuthi balwele labantu laba enebone lesikhathi baphumile bangaphandle azange babe nama talk shop babe semakambini. I know I'm being political, but babe semakambini guys. Let us stand our ground. Indawo yethu le.
Sabonga ma.
Ngiyabonga ngiqedanga.
Bengicela ukuphinda ukuthi mangabe ukavarekile mhlambe umuntu okhulumile before unayo right ukuthi hayi sengiright la. Angeke uphinde into e1 ngayi2. Angeke uphinde into e1 ngayi2. Umuntu mase yakavarile uyasho ukuthi ngicovered awuyophinda lokwakushila.
Ngiyabonga Mr. Chair. Igama lami ngubafana wakahlatshwayo ngihlala eWard 1 ephase 2 ngasePower Mall. Inkinga engibhekene nayo okanye sibhekene nayo sibahlali eWard 1 kule block esihlala kilo especially ephase 2. Amanzi awekho nje ngikhuluma nawe nje akunamanzi. Kune block enye enzansi la afikela khona ebusuku nakhona ngabo 11 12 ngabo 5 aphelile. Kune block ephezulwanyana lapho since amanzi sawagcina nge-COVID-19 awafiki all together. Uma si requesta ama water tank abafo bama water tank basikhomba ukuthi bathela ezibhedlela bathela ezikolweni nasemakliniki then umphakathi at the end awunamanzi. Kuphela iviki ngikhuluma nawe nje ngiward committee ngimember yeward committee ngiqale urequesta last week until namanje ama water tank awakafiki. Labo bafo abasebenza lapha ya Elinville abasi uma ubenzela iWhatsApp bathi noted after noted next liphume lishone. Ngiyacela ukuthi ake bangenelele bakamasipala lapha kuleya block leya. Okwesithu i-billing system elapha kuleya block iphezulu kakhulu. Uthola umuntu ukolota 500,000 uzoqala ngakuphi lo muntu ukubhadala. Ake nisondeleni bafethu lapha kuleya block. And then okwesithu okwes3 umfo omunye othatha ama water readings ungena la ajump 20 yemiza ongena kwes21. Uma sithi sizobhadala la i-billing system ibill iphezulu. Uqake ukuthi njani ngoba ama water readings nje ngikhuluma nawe i-water readings igcina ukuthathwa ngoFebruary this year. Kodwa ibill lokhu iqhubeke njalo. Ngiyacela bakithi from nje phase 2 until phase 4 akunamanzi nje ngikhuluma nawo. Umphakathi uphuma uyangena bashayisana ngama wheelbarrow. Ake ningeneleleni bakithi. Ngihlonipha isikhathi mfethu.
Ngenza iphutha la kuwe. Ama ward committees nama councillors awavumeli nama CTWs awavumela kanga ukuraise lezi zinto lezi ngoba banayo indawo bangaraise this concern. Enonyazi niniba ngomsindo ansima CTW ansima ward committee. Sicela umuntu oyi-ward committee lapha as excuse from the line or oyi-CTW as excuse or oyi-council as excuse from the line. Sistolicious. CTW, ward committee angithi. Ward committee. Please. Cela usitetele.
Sanibonani.
Yebo.
Igama nguMapule wakamhubane ngihlala eWard 5. Ngiyanibulisa nonke baphathi bethu mama wethu ngizocala kuwe sisacela manje sinenkinga lapha eWard 5 ngizoyibhekisa ku Dr. Umthembu. In my own understanding ama clinics are supposed to be 24 hours. You will correct me maybe if I'm wrong. Sine problem ukuthi ama clinic asebenza until a certain time. Sicela ukuthi ningenelele lapho nisize ngaloyo nto leyo cause abantu baba nama problems uma bagulelwa ngabantu mabafika eclinic bayajikiswa. Bese number 2, I stand here as an LGBTIQ member. Bengisacela umasipala wethu aqhubeke njalo asilekelele ukuthi sibe yi stakeholder esiformal because we are having problems. abantwana laba abancane whom are gays, whom are lesbians, bayazibulala because I think they do not understand about this life. We are a stakeholder, we are here to stay, and singama member waka Khongolose. Siyacela shem ukuthi ngenelelani nisilekelele kakhulu because siyalimala uma singekho formal. Asifuni ukuthi sichamuke this time kuza le group kusasa kuza le. Let them bebaqalile nje office la ka speaker bas assist, but due to izinto eziningi we want our own person good desk le LGBTI. Kungangeni umuntu who's not us as a belief. Siyacela ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga Mapule. Yabona ke uMapule usethi example, usethi bar, straight to the point.
Sanibonani.
Mapule.
Igama lami ngoAndile ngoangwenya. Ngisuka eGrill wa 25. Ngicabanga ukuthi ziningi kakhulu into engifuna ukuzishota ngizoba short. One, Deputy Minister, umasipala wethu ozovakashela abekho accountable, your officials. Amakhansela singawaxolela kancane because baba khona for 5 years. But public administrator njengoba nje ukulele office kufune ba give mandate kuma stakeholder engagement. Banika amakhansela imandate ukuthi mali benze njani. And amakhansela sithatha abantu noma bangafundile bayangena nje lapha. So badinga uncedo. So sayicela intervention lapho. 2, South Africa ngathi banana rig, but I'll go deep la Emalahleni. Into eyenzakalayo la uku-own ama-Nigeria na yonke lento le. Sizocela masipala. If nihluleka lento soyicela sizozenzela. Sicela kube nelanga lokukhuculula wonke la ma-tax shop. Through sifuna ukubona i-Department of amaphoyisa. Sifuna ukubona ama-traffic cop nama-light. Sizoya lapha sifuna kubona lonke iNigeria or Ethiopian ukuthi udocumented na. Sifuna ukubona futhi nalento abadayisayo ukuthi zi-right yini so that we won't be xenophobic. Sifuna ilawuleke. Okugcina ngihlala ngako angeke ikrili ikhule kuma service delivery because nithi manje kube nama entrepreneurs la njike nina futhi ngobu leadership beni nithi ngoba ubani ku region noma ukuphi nolanda abantu abaleni elspread babuye bezothatha umsebenzi la. So ama services angeke abhadareke kanjalo. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani bahlali, ngibingelele nezikhulu. Igama lami uGcino kaMnisi.
Before ukhuluma thi ngikuvale kancane. Angathi uminister no asihlalelani ngamani nithi hayi phela ngingangizwanga ukuthi ngithini. Deputy Minister ucelile ukuthi uma si interact kanje if you are raising something a concern we must come up with a possible solution ozoyisuggest la. I'm just saying that azo assist phezulu kwe possible solution. Sicela ukuthi izinkulumo zethu zihambe along those lines sibe na possible solutions. Thank you.
Sebenzi le. Sanibonani mphakathi nezikhulu ezihleli la. Mina ipoint lami ngiqondisa ku DP. DP, this is important, cela uyibhale phansi. Ngesikhathi seCovid uGcino kaMnisi ngibuya Ward 11 aguqa. So ngesikhathi seCovid DP upresident uke wasikhiphela amasoja. Wathi amasoja akasithulise singene ezindlini because kunalesifo. Sicela ukuthi manihlangene futhi ku cabinet usindlusele na umlayezo. Sicela akhiphe amasoja. Kunezindawo from Gauteng eUville bayazi lokuthengiswa khona lama drugs okwenziwa lama drugs khona. Sicela ukuthi nala Emalahleni sinamasoja lapha eMiddleburg akenzi next akunampi eSouth Africa. Sicela eze la town. Ama drugs amaphoyisa wethu ayikho into angayenza ngifuni solo ngwablame manje. Sicela DP imanihleli lapha please. Abantwana bayafa la Emalahleni. Emalahleni number 1 in the province ngama drugs. Emalahleni alone number 1 in the province. So siyacela DP usincede kuloko. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani umphakathi wonke waseMalahleni nama ward committee wethu nabaphathi bethu ngapha. Igama lami nguSylvia Sibuyi, ngibuya eWard 31 ePhola, ngihlala eSakhile eIraq. Indawo leyi sihlala emnyameni, asinagezi, surroundiwe ngezimayini. Umasipala wethu uthi akanamali. Siyacela njengoba ukhona mamhlumbana, njengoba wena ukhona ukuhamba ungena ukokota la thina singafikeli khona la ezimayini lezi surroundile, usicelele ukuthi basifakela isubstation enkulu kuthi kwathina siba negezi, ngoba bantwana bethu bayaphela ngokubulaliwa emnyameni. Abafowethu baye emsebenzini bathathelwa amafoni ngoba bahamba emnyameni. Siyacela, sizithoba kakhulu, siyacela nisizeni eWard 31 eSakhile eIraq. Ngiyabonga.
Siyabonga. Olandelayo.
Sanibonani, Deputy Minister, siyabonga ukufika Emalahleni. I will go for ibathupili njengoba kuyi-principle. With due respect.
Cela igama nesibongo neward obuya kilo.
Sorry, ma'am. Umenzi igama uphuma eWard 32. Ngizosho kanje Minister ukuthi ngicela i-discipline. That shows the discipline yokuthi isikhathi sibalekile kuwo wonke umuntu, which is why siziba nesikhathi esincane sokuthi sikwazi u-engage, and it happens to every department or the government yokuthi mase ku-engagewa nathi isikhathi siba sincane angidluli. Ngicela leyo discipline ibe khona, khombisa ukuthi abantu baphambili kuqala. Kuwo wonke ama-department eninawo sine problem ye-home affairs, i-police station itself, i-SASSA itself, because lama department kumele nama license department ukusondela eceleni kwabantu mabefika lapha i-treatment is not right. At the same time njengamanje kwi-Krill side we are trying all the means ukuthi sisondele nama companies, private companies ukuze akwazi ukuthatha abantwana bethu bazothola ama-license, but i-treatment yalawo ma-companies or ama-NPOs and NGOs abazama leyo nto leyo, i-delay eyenziwa ilama officials asekuyi-license department ukuthi abantu bangasheshi bathole usizo ngesikhathi kudelayisa i-progress yethu Emalahleni. The other part engayisho ukuthi le issue yama forum, it's there and it cannot change, but let it be legalized so that abantu bazokuba accountable for anything abayenzayo around Emalahleni, bazonikeza i-opportunity for i-issue yamabhizinisi njengoba ukhulume ngayo. Enye issue ama-clinic amaningi around Emalahleni avala ngabo 4 and abantu baba nama-problems amaningi ama-weekend. Can you open it for 24 hours or you can have an alternative way yokuthi abantu bakwazi ukusizakala during ebusuku? Lastly, i-issue esibheke indabeni esesikoleni, can you senze isiqiniseko sokuthi labantwana bethu, because there is isifo esikhona i-bullying esikoleni, abantwana from the primary side abantwana bagcina bangasayi esikoleni because banabantu abangena ey'ndaweni zokuthi bashaywe, at the same time kube nama-drugs and all that. I-bullying, it's seriously crippling abantwana from the primary side. Okugcina ngicela nina-ke abantu basemaplazini bafowethu, thina kulela site lewa 32 we got 13 farms. When it comes to accountability yabantu esebenzisana nama-officials akamasipala, ngicela nikunake ukuthi abantu basemaplazini banikezwe ama-services, because izinto ezifana namanzi abafuna izinto eziningi, ukugrebula komgwaqo. So and ne-appearance yabantu esibakhethile ukuthi bazosibhekela isimo kwamasipala, ngicela sibanake. Siyabonga.
Sanibonani, igama lami nguSiphiwe wakaGaskin, ngibuya eGanala, ngikwiGanala Women Structure. Ekrili siyakhala kakhulu, sinenkinga ukufika la namhlanje. We had to wait for i-transport ebuya la eWheatbank as if ekrili akukho taxi. Number 1. Number 2, ekrili makufanele siyothatha ama-ID faneke sigibele siye eBetali or eWheatbank, which is 100 rand i-minimum ongayibhadala. Sisarrounded ama-mine, sisarrounded Eskom. Number 3, abo baba bethu abasebenzi banama-skills. Eskom kugcwele abo Zimbabwe. Abasebenzi sinezindlu asikwazi asikwazi ukubhadala izindlu, asikwazi kwenza lutho. Sicela ugovernment angenelele ngoba sihluphekile, i-service delivery yaseKrill iphuwa. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani nonke mphakathi, ngibulise nangapha uminister wethu okhulumayo uJJ wakaMashiyane. I'm an innovator. Actually, omunye actually onceda iEscom ku-load shedding. As an innovator, ngazi kamhlophe nje ukuthi iEscom mayiku-load shedding. iEscom inestyle sayo esisebenzayo. Nathi as electrical contractors on the ground, sinesethu istyle esisebenzayo. I-load shedding thina sinendlela esingayiqeda ngayo as quick as possible. Very quick. We can take back current earning back to the grid. Compare with maybe so maybe power station. We can have sufficient reserve as what we say move go Eskom. So far so good. Yonke into engicelayo because bengilong present abo Jozi, bathumele abantu base Jozi ngapha ukuthi bazobheka ku point of reference esiya edinga indoda. Bayithola point of reference babuyele emuva but no, that is excellent. Kuthe makunjalo bafuna ukungihlanganisa manje nani ne-city power ukuthi no, because lento yakho i-defend ama-transformer, i-defend izindlu zabantu, isusa nomuntu ku-box yonke into efana leyo. Kungaba kanjani sizihlanganise? Ngathi ake nimeni kancane ngicede ngekhaya la ngiphuma khona. So far into emile manje ubona le load shedding lokweqinywa so. Sengimele bala ekhaya ukuthi siye edinga indoda. So boni point of reference. From there babize manje udeputy president. Babize ne minister of energy siye sonke edinga indoda bese siyazi hayi i-load shedding izabe seyiphelile.
I hope awuzofunda istory la.
Sanibonani. Igama uThabo from Ward 7. Bengithanda ukukhuluma ngale ndaba lena ku healthcare. If umuntu alimala ezinambeni ebusuku, it's a problem because ama clinics wethu they don't operate at night. So sometimes when you call ambulance, 90% of the time that person dies because ama ambulance afika late. And if you try to ucela umakhelwane wakho will charge you imali ukuthatha olomuntu olimele. Number 2 ngifuna education sector. Ezinambeni la ngibuya khona sinama primary are limited, overcrowded, even high schools are overcrowded and asina TVET. Uyabona? Igu tertiary education sector asinayo total. So we need it ukuthi sibe nayo. And then the last thing ngifuna ukuza kule ndaba yeBathupili statement enisebenzayo. It seems like it's just a mere talk, yabona, and well magnified kakhulu, because if kahle you check it's not implemented 100%. I believe ukuthi abantu abakhona as umphakathi wethu we have experiences when you go kamasipala, you go at clinic, you go wherever you go, you will complain about the public servants abasiza abantu. Yabona. And then on the other hand, ngibona ngathi our government is promoting private sector in the medical sector ukuthi baqhubeke babe nama private hospital amaning so that our people they will go and pay them, and thina lana sisale sidosa nzima because of we don't afford. But if the services ga Department of Health were best besogijimela khona even if we had money. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani. Thomas Shabangu Ward 2. Isikhalo sami kumasipala wethu inkinga isection 189 ezimine siyaxoshwa. Angazi ukuthi ngikuphi umzamo ongaba nawo masipala wethu because siyafuna ukubhadala futhi sizimisele ukubhadala. But ke uma ngabe sikhishwa emsebenzini ngalendlela sikhishwa ngakhona lapha kimi njengoba ngisho nje approve almost 200 abantu lefanele baphume bahambe bayohlala emakhaya. Iyobuya phi leyo mali le kufanele sibhadale ngayo masipala. Sikhuphukise masipala wethu. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani. Igama ngoThemba ngwakamotha. Into engilethela ngaphambili into kufanele ngaba ngisakhuluma ngayo. Ngoba ike ya raised some years ago. Kodwa up to this far nothing happened. Indaba ye ward engibuyakile, I'm from Ward 3 ehlangene ne Ward 29. Because the voting station yami is a Ward 3 but ngideploy le councillor la se Ward 29. La bathi khona ukhansela athi ngin adoptile. Abuye athi ngenzamile. Abuye athi nyan disowner. So last week ibambizile wavuma kwabanye abantu ukuthi iportion yakhe. Then la sambiza khona thina sifuna kumbuza ukuthi kahle kahle sibelonga kuyena wasibuza one question ukuthi ngesikhathi semavote se campaign nabona ubuso bami eplali polling this side na sathi azange sibona ukuthi manje. So ngicela nisilungisele indaba ye demarcation e Ward 3 nase Ward 29 because iconfuse umphakathi yasihlangahlanganisa masingazanywa ngoba sithatha uX wethu simfaka kwelinye iwadi meanwhile nesiphe ikhansela singabhilongilo vela ngeke asinakekele because asimvotelanga. And okunye engikufisayo ku deputy minister bengifisa kube umasipala wethu ukise empumelelweni obheka for service delivery instead of siyanqoba because isimo esihlala ngaphasi kwaso esinye esibi ngendlela emangalisayo. Indawo engihlala kiyo isurvey around 2008 but even today anginalo ilanga lokuthi ama dustbin athuthwa nini i-waste ithathwa nini. So kuhlangahlangene nje i-service delivery is very much poor. So iloko bengifuna ukusho.
Sanibonani, igama lami ngumduduzi ngibuya Ward 3 empumelelweni extension 4. Ngize la ngizokhuluma at this moment ukuthi ngibuza ukuthi bafaka Ward 3 extension 4 bafaka ama sewer pipe. So la sewer pipe abafakayo akunamanzi into yokuqala. And asazi ukuthi okay lawo sewer pipe leyo rubbish ezobe iphuma lapha ihamba iyothela kuphi ngoba sewer plant system asinayo. The only one ekhona ile ngapha ngase mawuza ngapha ngase lokushini. So from ngale empumelelweni empumelelweni inkulu so bengibuzwa ukuthi yona sewer plant ngoba kubhizi kufakwa wona ama sewer pipe iyokwenziwa nini ukukhombisa ukuthi manje there's something lensila le izobe siyiflasha nayo yonke lensila iyophumela kuphi. Ngiyabonga.
Sanibonani. Igama lami nguNokuthula Wangubane from Ward 18 Springvale. Igama lami nguNokuthula Wangubane Ward 18 Springvale. Bengisacela ukubuza uMama Mayor njenge Ward 18 ukuthi endaweni yase Springvale usiphathele ini thina since akhona since kunama khansela silazi khansela thina sikaze silibone ngamehlo. Kuze kuphela unyaka ngicabanga ukuthi amakhansela manje qeda unyaka njengoba kuNovember ama ward committee asiwazi nokuthi abobani ukuthi yile abamreportela yona yena asazi. Okunye ke besacela indaba nisilungisele indaba ye-mobile sebenzisa i-mobile eSpringvale. I-mobile yethu ifika ngo9 ngo11 ithi abasathathi umuntu. Uma ku June, July, August bavalile. Masithi seKlifontein clinic abasithathi bathi asilinde mobile. Shuthi nogula kufanele kuhlale until kuze kuvule abantu be-mobile. Singaguli thina. Ngoba yonke indawo abasamukeli indawo. Bese sicela indaba yebus leingane zesikole, ingane zethu zifunda elanga ngale Tasbet. Zihamba ngezinyawo. Imvula iqalile manje zibuye esikoleni zisendleleni. Kuphele unyaka ingane zami zingesenazo incwadi zanethwa. Ngahamba ngayo reportela uprincipal ukuthi ingane zami zinethelwe izincwadi zizobhala kuphi. Asinakwa ndawo thina asaziwa nhlobo. Saye ofisini lika mayor samcela umayor. Sicela ukuthi eze kithi njengomphakathi. Akakaze basilethele ireport. ikhansela salicela last week Wednesday ngilifonelile alikaze lifike kuze kube namuhla alikaze lifike ngicabanga ukuthi umphathi ohlelo wawukhona aka wait silibona ngale IDP ikhansela ukuthi nali ikhansela lethu siqala ukulibona makhona umphathi ohlelo ikhansela ukuthi kade sine khansela salicela ikhansela ukuthi sicela ukulibona eSpringvale nathi sizothula izikhalo zethu alikaze lifike ngalifonela mina last week Wednesday wabamba wayeka kazathi kufanele wathi ulinde umeya uzosifonela iviki liyaphela futhi manje iviki liphelile asazi ukuthi kwenzakalani ngathi sicela abasicacisele ama-RDP asawathandi sisacela ukuthi basihlalise kahle ey'tandini yingakho kugcwele amashangane eSpringville ngendaba ukuthi umasipala akazazi ukuthi ufunani ngeSpringville ngiyabonga
sanibonani igama lami ngumphongo kaSokhweba ngibuya eWard 27 eGrill okokuqala nje ngicela Mpho Sokhweba ngibuya eGrill eWard 27 okokuqala nje icomplaint yami yokuqala mphathi hlele I directed to you uNkulunkulu angeke simenze umuntu wesibili in everything sila namhlanje because of God. Every one of us ophilayo phefumulayo the program when it was set God was supposed to be on top of the list. Umhlaba wonke ula okhona khona it's because sikhiphe uNkulunkulu kukho konke. That's why we are suffering the way we are suffering. So angeke sidiscuss bese sila ukuthi siyamfuna or asimfuni. So ngiyacela kakhulu kuleyo ndawo bafowethu. God is God and we need him. Without him we are nothing. Bese ngiyalandela ngokwesibili engizokhala ngako uthe ucela ukuthi uminister ucela ukuthi sibe nama solutions. Minister, there's always solutions. Indaba ye-electricity there's a solution. Sinabasebenzi bakamasipala who can monitor izindawo baye kuma ward ngama ward ba-check impilo yabantu abahlezi kulawo ma ward. Sibe ne flat rate. Ukuthi abantu abahlala I'm making an example. Abantu abahlala eAkhaville for electricity and water bazobhadala 500 rand. Then umuntu uzohlala kanjani makuvunyelene kwenziwa ama researches ukuthi if abahlala etown bazobhadala 1000 rand because angisho bona bangcono kunalaba abahlala kwezinye izindawo. I do not mean it in that way. I'm simply saying they are making more money than others. Flat rate will work for South Africa. But angeke umuntu ohlezi empumelelweni kufanele abhadale 2000 rand uzoyithatha kuphi? Uzoyithola kuphi? So there are solutions I'm suggesting indaba ye flat rate. Let's look at that. Siboneni ukuthi angeke isebenzele na. Number 2, ngibuyele endabeni yabantwana. Minister, sengizokwaziwa ngaloko vele. South Africa ayina future because the government does not take care of our children. We are availing ourselves as abantu abomama nabobhuti last in the meeting ebesikuyo IDP last sishilo sathi we are here. We want to help our children grow in a manner that we want to see them bayiyo thina njengabazali. IBhayibheli lithi khulisa umntwana ngendlela okuyoba ngeyakhe. Umntwana makaphume esikolweni aye kwi-recreational center. Oyiswimmer ayotrainer to be a swimmer. Ubani othi abantwana babantu abamnyama they can never be professional swimmers. Ubani osho kanjalo? Ubani umuntu othi abantwana babantu abamnyama ngeke babe tennis players? Angeke kugcina ngoSirina nosisi wakhe le overseas. We want to see our own children baswimmer. Sifuna ubona abantwana bethu badlala i-tennis because they are capable. Banawo lawo mandla lawo ukukwenza lokho. Abantwana bethu mababe bo doctor. There's a doctor in our midst. This doctor can start a mentorship program. Umntwana by grade 9 must start speaking like a doctor. Simqala asiseka grade 9. We understand ukuthi makafika university yobhekana nani. But because we want to sit in these meetings and do nothing about the future abantwana bethu. Abantwana bethu basazobulawa ama drugs because akuna ma recreational center emalokishini. Umntwana uma ane purpose uphuma esikolweni uye center uyokwenza lento uye endlini. Uyosithola isikhathi sokublema ama drugs. Akani sizweleni bantu basekhaya siyacela bakithi. Amen.
Sanibonani ome ngaphambili uGrain wakamsilelane obuya eWard 16 kwaGuqa. Hayi wena. Iguqa idivide ke 3 kune 11, 14 and 16. Cela ukucorrect. Angikho ewadini lakho, ngiumakhelwane. Angisho nistemekatele lokho ukuthi singabi nevolume. Uyifunile ipolitiki. Mina ngizela minister ngokuzokhuluma about the maybe suggestions, if I might put it like that. But I'll start with the Health Services Center. Dr. Wethu khulumile ngokuthi it's collapsing. But besides the collapsing of the business, kunalento le engiyibonayo ukuthi it keeps on occurring, or if I may say it, employees of the government bane slogan sabo ukuthi umasipala akaxoshi when uyazixosha. So we find abantu abadeployele ukuthi babe ma cleaners, but mawufika general kudoti. You find kunama health, kunama caregivers enwa deployile ema clinics bangena ngo7 10:30 bachayisile. Sine ndawo yabo gogo manje collapse because there was no assistant. Those caregivers, why many ngaba deploy ukuthi mabaphuma la because umsebenzi usebenza 9 hours. Bahambe bayo assista ngale, then they can rotate, then we take it from there. Enye into enginenkinga nayo, it's because of ngizosho amaphoyisa nawo ama traffic cops hayi bayithanda shema intshontsho. Angikhona ukuthola ukuthi into eyenza ukuthi bayithanda because their basic salary, it's not accommodative to a human being's needs. Mangabe nimholela 6,000 vele incane 6,000. So it's not accommodative, it's not friendly. Sizohlala sinamaphoyisa are corrupt, nama traffic cop are corrupt because they are lacking somewhere somehow. Enye engizoza kiyo, it's regarding the good department ye health again, nine cleaning department, nine laundry department. In that laundry department, instead of you guys always outsourcing tenders, ukuthi banithungele izinto zombhede, why in that department kungabi nabantu abathungayo? Then your lineage and your needs, umuntu uyazi ukuthi umuntu othungayo ngelanga uzokhona ukuthunga how many pillowcase, how many fitted sheet, nezinto zabo doctor ebazidingayo. So if you guys are always outsourcing, your budget will always be stretched, unlike if we put that good laundry services. And then kokunye ngizobuyela ku doctor khulume ngako ukuthi kuyashoda ngamapilisi esibhedlela. In terms of that, which means medical stock controller is not doing their job because kune stock rotation. Mele uyenze stock rotation. If usiyenza weekly, monthly, then uzokhona ukwazi ukuthi uhlala uorder amapilisi in time, and then ubaphe ne grace yokuthi delivery ikhona ukufika in time. Ngokugcina hayi mengisacela ukuthi ningenelele kuma councillors wethu. Yeah, ngicela ningenelele, angifuni ukusho kakhulu but ngicela ningenelele njengoba umphathi wehlelo ashilo ngamagama wakhe ukuthi babekwe yithi ukuthi bazosilekelela ukuthi izidingo zethu zifezeke. So nabo ngicela ukuthi angali nathi maybe sibanolaka ngesinye isikhathi, but as a human being come back uzazi ukuthi wena irole yakho yini. Ngiyabonga.
Sisalomu, you have said it mouthful. But uhlala eModise use what level? Yeah, I think izoke phela izandla bese sisivulelile sigcina ngayo sisalomu lana. Sabuya futhi ngiyacela ngithi ubaba uHomu lapho unamakhadi andifuna ufake directly ama inputs wakho to ICT department. Ungafaka lapha ubaba uHomu no sisimarothi nayo sesekhona lana usesenawo lawo makhadi lawo nathole lapha kuye, and then khona ukwafaka ama suggestion. At this time ke sizonikeza u deputy minister wethu uDr. Okay. Yeah, for issues pertaining local service delivery sizonika u acting executive mayor I respond ngaleyo, but then kuma issues are departmental, kuma sister department. So nika ubab Khomu, I respond kiwo. So cala ngo deputy Yeah, ubab Khomu is making me aware ukuthi ama paper aphelile la. You can use any regular paper just to bhala such as inakho igama nesibongo nama contact details bese then uzowathatha yena. Acting Executive Mayor.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga mphathi wohlelo acting speaker. Sibonga kakhulu neziphakamiso ezivela kumphakathi waseMalahleni wonkana. SiMalahleni municipality angithi ni raise kahle ama issues lawa kanengi masiya ezimbizweni. Manikhuluma ama issue ka home affairs wama clinic nani sidayi lezi azikho kithi within Emalahleni. But namhlanje I'm happy to say niziraise endaweni right where la kuno deputy minister khona la fanele ziye khona. But ke zikhona lezi ezifuna la ekhaya esiziphendule lapha nalapha. Mphakathi waseMalahleni angithi not long ago sisengakaqedi nokuqeda siMalahleni municipality. Besinale ma community meeting akhona le outreach si consulta IDP reviewer lani nikezwa khona iopportunity ukuthi ibhekana ama project akhona istatus isawo sikuphi then nenze nama input sisesekulehlelo lelo angithi abanye benu asibaboni masiya kulezi mbizo lezi iproblem ilapha bese makufika uminister le ama councillor siwazi ama councillor siwaboni mama wase ward 18 imbizo beyisunday lapha ukhansela uthuliwe lapha kini ukhansela wenu umlungu manje mangamfuni umlungu yiwe lo votelwe idemocracy isho njalo ithi kuvotelwe lo ulomlungu okhona so usalom ukhansela walapha unless you are saying mina ward 18 chief whip wasemaspala si deployeleni uPR councillor ozosi understanda njengabahlali balapha yani ene ngiyanizwa niyakhuluma indaba yezindlu sikhumbule ibackground yase ward 18 eSpringvale in particular kuthi labantu base Springvale kungakaki singumasipala sibasusa abanye sabasa eClarinet nathengisa nabuyisela le naqashisa eClarinet manje lapha eDuva kube nama allocation eDuva lapha kuma RDP wabantu base Springvale again iSpringvale angeke sisicede silwa impi sicela nina mphakathi nisebenzisane kunye nomasipala enye into engiyicelako kumphakathi wethu lezi insiza lezi esizilethayo kini siyanicela mphakathi ihholo lasePaul ladliwa muhlwa nikuphi izitulo zaze inqifensi lapha lalezitulo ezilingana nalezi zaze inqifensi lapha zikaliswa yiwo lo mphakathi esihlala kiwo namhlanje Paul asena hall so mina engikushoyo nokucelayo kumphakathi ukuthi sicela ukuthi nithathe iownership yalezi insiza lezi esizilethela esinilethela zona indaba le ama account wethu incorrect billing ngiyacela individual angicela eholweni sigacula basishayela izandla sonke mara mase ngibhekene mina nawe ngithi mara wena wagcina ukuthenga ugesi 10 years ago uku-0 sale ayizufana nala eholweni mase ngiphethe i-account yakho siyikhulumisa mina nawe kungenzeka ubhadala more kungenzeka ubhadala less kungenzeka uyi-0 sale it means wena 10 years ago vele wena ubreachile umlilo awutengi asizeni individual la kamasipala singayithathi eholweni mina inkinga yakami kaHlumbane angithathe yona i-account le kuthi hayi but inyanga ephelile ngibhadalile wayi lesikolodo sikhulile sikhona ukuthi sikuncede ubhuti lapha uyakhuluma Putmod angazi noma nibakhulume bahamba le yase ye-demarcation for 10 years now sikhuluma i-demarcation yase ward 3 nase ward 29 ngiyacela buyani futhi siboneni u-MEO lapha yani sikhulume lento ethi for 10 years ukuthi angazi ukuthi ile councillor lami noma ile councillor lami ngiyanicela yala si attenda le matter le ungasikuthi umasipala azange silandele le matter yalapha between ward 3 nase ward 29 and then omunye uraise le issue yesuwa lapha uthi lento leso zikhipha lapha zobe ziyapi hawu uhlala empumeleleni ziye clap spray ngithi suwa plant lapha zizo yakhona la kuyaza abanengi khona There's a project lapha Ward 23 efaka ipipeline eliya lapha. Masifaka la masuwa pipe laphiyana Ward 3 njengoba sibhizinale leya development le lapha. Lesuwa izohamba yonke empumelelweni iya eKlipspruit la kunesuwa plant khona. Siyacela ke mphakathi ukusebenzisana nani ama office wethu avuliwe buyani mangabe nenkinga nama ward committees la khulumile la siyak acknowledge nako lokhu ukuthi at least ama ward committee abona uminister sebenzisa that opportunity ukuthi hayi nathi ake nibhekabheke kuleya out of pocket ukuthi ingezelelwa njani but ke aswasebenziseni ama ward committee nama sisebenzeni nama councilor wethu manje ke angeke singasebenzi nama councilor bese siza la sifuna mhlambe mase sifika la kube nezinkinga usesogqina okhuluma ekugcineni uthi ma council hambani ngendlela eright enkosi yami nathi sibosesa abantu sibomama babantu sibogogo babantu ngiyacela mawuthi councilor alachera umhlangano la kunabafundisi khona la kunawo wonke umuntu khona uthi wena ngiba nenkinga yazi inhlonipho yona ayihambe two way nathi mphakathi siyayideserve le nhlonipho nathi sinihloniphe sinilalele siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi nize kulomhlangano elangeni la namhlanje ama office wenu ala ekhaya ningibala ekhaya i-issue yeLiz Mam Joyce sizayikhuluma siqhubeke nayo I know siyayi understand lama project lawa ngale ngicela sizeni sizikhulumeni zala ekhaya asizikhulumeni la ekhaya asebenziseni lethuba sikhulume lezi le phezulu lezi ezisihamayo ngiyabonga kakhulu umphakathi waseMalahleni.
Thank you very much. What I want to say is that we've heard you. Ikhalo zenu have been well received, which means they will actually influence a number of processes moving forward. I can hear somebody saying, foreigners, what are you doing about foreigners? I think this is a national challenge. You'd think when you are in Emalahleni local municipality, it's only affecting you. What it means is that government needs to come with a broader strategy that actually would manage to deal with these issues. All over the country we've got spaza shops also of foreigners. We have them in Gauteng because Gauteng is the economic hub of this country. And you can imagine when foreigners come into the country or migrants come into the country, everybody flocks to Gauteng because they think that their lives will be transformed by being in the economic hub of this country. As a country, when it comes to issues of migrants, we have just established what is called the Border Management Agency. And it's because we have porous borders. These porous borders are the ones that actually have put us in a situation that we are in now. Government wholly is actually conscious of the many challenges that we are having with foreign nationals. And we are actually working on strategies of dealing with it. The one thing that we shouldn't do is to instigate each other to the extent that we think the answer might be in attacking them. It is a responsibility of government to have to come up with measures of dealing with this. There was also a concern about clinics that are supposed to open 24 hours. I don't know whether the arrangement has been made and it's just that the staff is not actually complying with what needs to be done. But we will register this and have to make a follow-up with the Department of Health just to find out what is really going on. Shortage of ambulances has actually also been mentioned, which needs to actually be taken into consideration. Nogutula Ngubani, you complained about the, of Ward 18 about the councillor. I've been informed that that councillor is a DA councillor. Remember, we are in politics, you can't actually control a councillor who is in a different political party. What it means is that that ward needs to vote correctly so that they can be in the position to manage to have the right councillor. But the acting mayor has just made a suggestion that maybe if you think you need a PR councillor, you should actually indicate so that they can look at viability in terms of you getting a PR councillor. Other issues that have been raised, I don't know about this Wayne family and how they make their riches. And I think it's something that probably needs some kind of follow-up so that we can understand it very well, because there was a lot of lamentation about how they make a lot of money and that money is getting out of the country and things like that. But remember, as a country also, we encourage investors to come into the country because you can't be in the position to have economic growth when you alone as South Africans think you can deal with business. Where there is possibility of investors coming into the country, we need to be open to it. Similarly to Emalahleni local municipality, if there are investors that want to come here, we need to actually open our arms to. Some have complained about the fact that they're struggling and there are mines around them. Where's the revenue for mining getting to? It's a matter that the municipality needs to clearly and carefully look at, so that we look at how we can best benefit from the mines that are around us. Because also it's about jobs that we need ourselves in Emalahleni local municipality. And then there was also an issue of the LGBTQI community raised by Mapula. It has been noted, Mapula, and of course, in terms of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, we should be inclusive and not exclude in terms of race, color, sexual orientation, and whatever else. So your point is valid. Somebody raised something about the Municipal Finance and Management Act and talked about the lease. The point was not very clear, and I think it was Joyce, if I've got the name right. But I think you need to actually visit municipal office so that you can be in the position to get assistance with whatever is actually bothering you. I couldn't quite get clearly what your issue is about lease agreement. Because if you've got a lease agreement, then it means there's an agreement. Unless maybe the terms of the agreement are not honored. But also there's legal recourse in terms of anything that goes wrong that has got to do with contracts. I think for all intents and purposes, this almost covers all that was actually raised, including the arrogance that people expressed about public servants, which I've actually touched on in my speech, and the approach that needs to actually be handled, or how we need to deal with the public as public servants, putting Batopili principles. So I would say that indeed, the people who actually raise issues of arrogance of public servants, some calling them demigods and things like that, actually endorses what my concern was about people who are sitting behind the desk in public offices, for them to recognize that they are there to serve. We will continue to sensitize public servants about how they should manage to relate to communities and the public when they are actually being visited. The bullying in school, I think, is something that we will register, which is something already that the Department of Education is conscious of. I'm sure if you are aware that we have a number of cases, even of children that actually commit suicide, but already the Department of Education, from what I know, they are dealing with it and they are developing a framework around bullying. And Tate Mashiane, you are saying you are an innovator and you have energy ability to actually give solutions to energy. I think it's something that is quite commendable. What Ntate Khomu can do, he can give you the telephone number for the Center for Public Service Innovation so that you can be in the position to get in touch with them in order for you to share with them what you've got that you think is an innovative idea that can really help government to deal with this problem of shortage of electricity, maybe once and for all. And I do agree with those that actually say, let's put God first. Indeed, as a people, for us to be balanced, we need to all the time be conscious of the fact that whatever we do in life is by blessing of God. I thank you.
Thanks again, Deputy Minister. I also want to apologize, but Sega Hambilo Mama Guti, I never invited God first before we started the meeting. I therefore sincerely apologize for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to almost the end of our program, but right now I would like to call the Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Uqondi Pechuna Masego, just to give a vote of thanks, and then we'll go to the last item after that. Councillor Chief Whip, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Program Director. Firstly, I'd like to greet everyone. Okhona lana nibahle. And intengi ngani, you are a good audience. Nihleli from eqaleni namanje yabona ukuthi kugcwele and siyazi ukuthi njoba nila khona nigainile. Umsebenzi wami engiphiwe wona awukho nzima kakhulu ukubonga nje abantu ukuthi siyabonga. Yabo kusho cool. Firstly, I would like to thank the Program Director wethu Councillor Buthelezi for running the program for us. Uyiqhube kahle baba. Siyabonga, sibonga kakhulu Councillor. Also, I'd like to thank our acting executive mayor, Councillor Hlumbane, for all the issues that she raised in terms of our challenges and our responses, because some of the issues tina esiziraisa la sidila ngazo kakhulu kuzimbizo zethu. That is why amanye ama questions sesiyawazi makuvela uCondi bayazi ukuthi uCondi uzobuza lokho. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi lokubuza kanenganengi asidinwa niyasikhuthaza ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi nesingakwenzanga sikwenze. Siyabonga kuloko. Also, I'd like to thank uChairperson we-MPEC because ngiyabonga for welcoming remarks. We felt at home after uswelcomile. Siyazi masifika emzini mawungena bangakwelcome uyajabula noma mawufika uthola le mati lapha emnyango ithi welcome unyathela kamnandi. So yabona ukuthi so welcomeekile. Ngibuye futhi ngithanda ukubonga uBab Khomu. Bab Khomu, thank you for giving us a purpose. After you spoke, everybody says understand ukuthi sizeleni la. Ngoba the time bas invite abanye bes confused ukuthi phathi kuza uDeputy Minister wakuphi wenzani. Some of you guys, you called me saying doctor is a female or a man. Ngithi hayi ngifuna ukwenzani. It's doctor. Now Dr. Mthembu sinaye lana kithi. And also I'd like to thank Dr. Chana for proposing that today she wants to be here with us for a stakeholder engagement. And also I'd like to thank the office lako, Doctor, for visiting. We have visited Isasa, Home Affairs, Netusong. That was an eye-opener. Labe Sambakon, Tina, we are telling ourselves that we know these departments and we understand, but we had amanyama challenges. Siyabonga Dr. Chanaguti, usimikise lapho, sathola new challenges, ezizosenza ukuthi nathi si plan as umaspala. I'd also like to thank my stakeholders, to academics, business and professionals. Firstly, I would like to thank Ubabu Singa, Namaseka Hambile, and also I'd like to thank him for his time. You know, when you are invited and they also told you you prepare yourself, and then Masofika Lana utole something else. But I'd like to apologize on behalf of the department and the municipality. We also know Uguti Ubabu Usinga is one of the best principals lana Emalahleni. We are chincha impilo mtanga na. He was the principal at Kopanang and then was transferred to Witbank High, where it was a white school. Abantwana bakhona bebahlanga but wachincha siyambonga noma sekahambile. Ngithanda ukubonga wena Dr. Mthembu. Mina ngizoti like father like daughter. Babakho bekasishaya. Bekangavilaphi uThishari Mthembu athi ngizokushaya 100 and bekakushaya 100. So 100. Elikhanyisweni abafunde nathi elikhanyisweni bayazi ukuthi bekanjani. And thanks Doctor for talking about the health system, especially the challenges, the one that we all know. Especially lezi ozimentionile, zamibhede, documents, zama patients, and now as we are sitting here, mhlambe nathi we have changed our minds because masengifika esibhedlela sebathi lala la ebhankeni ngizo understand ukuthi hey uDr washo ngilanga wathi imibhede ayikho kahle iyashoda mara siyathemba ukuthi kancane kancane imibhede izoba khona sizonela because now lana eMalahleni bayakha isibhedlela esibizwa ukuthi Ulina Malachi Hospital ngathi bathi bofaka 400 beds lapho. At least siyazama sibonile ukuthi ngapha kune challenge ngapha siyanibonga kakhulu nani. Ngithanda ukubonga futhi nama media houses. I hope ni capture correctly. Ni capture kahle. Ningafiki lapha masebathi angazi nenza nezinto zenu bese senikhatha lana seniveza lokhu senikhatha lokhu sesiyamangala thina bese la kodwa ngoba besikhona ke siyabonga. Siyanibonga nani and ekugcineni ngithanda ukunibonga nonke ngesikhathi senu ukuthi nizihluphile nezalana nazosilalela nathi we have gained from you. Siyasazi islogan sekhosa sesithi each one teach one. Nisifundisile siyabonga.
Yeah, Chief Whip, uyasifundisa nawe. Siyamunya. Ngicela ulungisa wami amaphutha manje before sivali uhlelo lwethu. Asimbizanga uJehova ezazoba nathi kule meeting. Ngicela ukuthi uma azosicelela indlela sivale umhlangano wethu kahle, asicelele nendlela njengoba siseviwa nokudla kanje asicelele futhi na uNkulunkulu. Ngizowenza after manje sizobhala.
Ngiyabonga Program Director. The protocol is observed. Ngibizo lokuthandaza la. Ngicela sivale namehlo, inhliziyo zethu zonke sizisondeze kuNkulunkulu. Mdala wensuku, ndoda yempi, uNkulunkulu wethu. Jehova uNkulunkulu wesizwe sonke, siyabonga somandla ukuthi ekseni nokho ku briefing sikumemile uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo. Nanoma la nkosami singasafika ngenxa yokuxakeka kodwa egameni lenkosi yami uJesu sibonga ukuthi ube nathi ngoba uNkulunkulu okhona njalo. Ngiyakhuleka somandla emzini waseMalahleni. Sibonga inkosi yami le visit. Sibonga uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo le event. uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo ibe yimpumelelo. uNkulunkulu onamandla wonke le inkinga eziphawulwe lana ngegama lenkosi uJesu. There are already solutions abuya kuwena. Bheka isizwe sakho uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo ubheka idolobha laseMalahleni. uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo ngixosha umoya ukuthi sibe inhlekise edakamizwa nazo zonke lezi zinto ezimbi ezibizwa ngemaLahleni ngegama lenkosi uJesu. Ngiyakhuleka manje ukuthi uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo siyabonga ukuthi lo mhlangano ube isolution. Siyakhuleka ke nkosi manje sesiqedile sibongela ukuthi ube nathi moya ingcwele la kuzodliwa manje uNkulunkulu wamthandekayo. Abantwana bakho beqeda ukudla kuzohanjwa uNkulunkulu wama ingcwele endleleni ngixosha uma accident egameni lika Jesu ukuthi bonke abantu abazophuma la bahambe ngempumelelo uNkulunkulu amathandakayo nemndeni yabo ibe safe. Ngikhulekela umasipala wethu sigcine Jehova. We declare this municipality uNkulunkulu amengcwele yasithi and I commit our community in your mighty hands and the entire South Africa. We erecting the uNkulunkulu amengcwele the hedge of fire around Emalahleni and the country at large. In Jesus' mighty name, we cannot afford to lose our children, to lose our people, to lose their paths, to lose further the society. In Jesus' mighty name, may our morality be regenerated. In the name of Jesus, we thank you. Siyabonga uNkulunkulu omuhle. Amen.
Yeah, just in the announcement one before Splugana. Ngiceliwe u-impact chair na u-chief whip na u-acting mayor ukuthi bonke laba abazi ukuthi izimbizo zabo ziseza bacela ukuthi ba-attende lezo zimbizo lezo so that they can raise these issues ekumazimbizo zabo sizongena ku-IDP document then lapho from lapho then izokhona ukubudgethelwa because lama-IDP izimbizo that is where ama-budget adjustments enziwa kiwo sicela ukuthi laba basele njenge-what 24 what 33 what 18 you still have to go to izimbizo. Please attend. Ladies and gentlemen, ngalawo magazwi lawo the meeting stands adjourned. Ukudla bazokulanda bakulanda ngamatafula. Ngibonile babalanda ngamatafula. Abasafuna ukudla bangahlala bazobalanda ngamatafula baba ashari. Ngiyabonga ningakhululeka ladies and gentlemen.